Boxing Day Game Live, the Game Live Boxing Day special, 2 double headers, and I've got both commentary games for you this evening. Today I'm at Goodison Park, this afternoon rather, I'm at Goodison Park for Burnley's visit of Everton with Carlo Ancelotti's first game in charge of Everton, and then later on I'm hot-footing it down from Merseyside to the East Midlands for Liverpool's visit of Leicester City. Kickoff for that one will be at 8 o'clock and we'll be on the air around about 7:45 for it's time for the kickoff there. So a double header, and then we're back live tomorrow as well from Manchester City against Wolves. So 3 live games in 2 days here on the JB Clark YouTube channel. We're all set to go here at Goodison Park, one of the great homes of English football, of course. Burnley, fresh from a victory over Bournemouth in a very, very poor match at the Vitality on Saturday, but this really is a terrific occasion. Neil Jackson, who's a fellow Burnley fan, I am a Burnley fan, so if the commentary is going to be a little bit biased today, I do apologise to anybody who may be offended, Everton fans alike, but I'm going to be a little bit Burnley biased here today. I thought Everton were impressive in that League Cup comeback, but it's Duncan Ferguson who's the manager anymore. It's Carlo Ancelotti. It's going to be a difficult game for Burnley with the new manager factor and everything, but fingers crossed Burnley do get 3 crucial points. Well, as I said, we'll be at the King Power later for Liverpool again, Liverpool's match as well. But what an atmosphere here at Goodison Park. It always is, and we are streaming on Amazon Prime. It's a fantastic atmosphere, and we'll be having, and also there'll be no commentary on the actual stream, so you'll be able to hear crowd noises as well as we look. I'm just looking across here at the Sir Philip Carter Park stand, filling up with a lot of Everton fans at the moment, but Burnley are 10th at the moment. A win could put them on level on points with Wolverhampton Wanderers, although Wolves play Manchester City tomorrow night. And there are the 2 teams in the tunnel. And we've got Seamus Coleman on the right and Ben Mee nearest to the camera on the left. Burnley have won their last 2 games. They beat Newcastle and they beat Bournemouth, of course. And now Zed Cards comes into the background here as the teams come out. It is a proper game of football. 2 founder members, of course, of the English Football League, dating back to 1888. Burnley won here a couple of years ago. Jeff Henrick getting the winner. They lost 2-0 at the back end of the last season, and early this season Burnley won by 1-0. Jeff Henrick, who scored a couple of years ago at Goodison Park to win the game for Burnley, who finished 7th that season. Well, he's not here today because of suspension, because of 5 yellow cards he picked up at Bournemouth on Saturday. So his place is taken by Robbie Brady. We'll give you the full lineups in just a second. Let me give you the 2 teams. So we're going to start with Everton first. It's Pickford in goal. Then it's Coleman, Holgate, Mina and Luca Dean. Then it's Sidibe, Delph, Sigurdsson, Bernard, Richarlison. And up front, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. On the bench, Stecklenburg, Baines, Keane, Walcott, Tozen, Davis and Moise Keane, the Italian youngster. Carlo Ancelotti's first game in charge of the Blues. Everton fans for years now have been a little bit fed up with all the major prizes going next door to their more illustrious Merseyside neighbours. So that's the 11 for Everton. They're going to play a 4-4-2. Ancelotti's going to match up with the Clarets. So Didibi will play on the right-hand side with Delph and Sigurdsson in the centre, Bernard on the left, and in fact it's Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin up front. Coleman, Holgate and Mina, the 2 centre-backs. Let's have a look at the Clarets lineup then. One change from the victory over Bournemouth on Saturday. That's enforced. So it's Nick Pope in goals for the Clarets. And then it's Phil Bardsley at right back, Tarkowski and me, the 2 centre-backs. Charlie Taylor playing on the left. Then Robbie Brady, who's in for the suspended Henrick. Jack Cork, Ashley Westwood. Then Joak McNeil on the left. And unfortunately, in fact, it's 2 changes. Jay Rodriguez comes in for Ashley Barnes alongside Chris Wood up front. So essentially 4-4-2. Hart, Lowton, Gunmerson, Drinkwater, Barnes and Long. And Eric Peters, and it's the 4-4-2, as I say, with Brady playing on the right hand side, McNeil on the left, A little bit of a left field choice, but with the welcome return of Cumberton on the bench is a good sight for us Clarets fans, as Carlo Ancelotti, the Everton coach, or the manager I should say, takes his seat on the dugout, and he's getting a nice reception from the Goodison Park faithful. Michael Keane down the bench could have lined up against his old side today. Still could come on at any time today. Let me just give you the officials very quickly. The referee today is from Greater Manchester, that's Anthony Taylor. The two assistants are the two linesmen. We'll give you the rest of the officials as soon as we get it. And we're going to actually take a moment's silence now to appreciate all the Everton people that has been lost at the club here at Goodison Park. And we're going to stand for a minute's silence in honour of any Evertonians that have died in the last year or two. So let's just pause for a minute's silence. Well, beautifully observed, and Sean Dyche there clapping as well. Saw Bill Kenwright in the crowd, no Farhad Mashiri. Burnley in claret and blue, Everton in their all blue, so traditional colours. Let me give you a recap of the referee today from Greater Manchester, Whitenshaw in fact. Anthony Taylor, his two assistants, Gareth Beswick on the far side, Scott Ledger on the near. Fourth official today, Jeremy Simpson, a referee of his own esteem. And our VAR referee down at Stockley Park in London today is Paul Tierney. So it's going to be Everton in blue to get us away, attacking the Gladys Street end in the first half away to my right. Burnley to the left. Richarlison gets us away then, and Everton then, who drew last time out against Arsenal, a game which was better remembered for events off the pitch involving a certain Robbie Lyle of Arsenal Fan TV, who was being very much abused by certain sections of Arsenal fans in an uneventful game which finished 0-0. Burnley, of course, in another uneventful game, although nicked the points against Bournemouth, which has put us in a very good position going into Christmas, above Arsenal in the table in actual fact. And of course we'll keep you abreast with all the other scores as we go in, and not to mention I'll be back on the mic again tonight at around about 7:45 for Leicester against Liverpool, top against second at the King Power, as Jordan Pickford gets it away. Two England goalkeepers at either end of the spectrum, Pickford at number 1 and Nick Pope number 2, although I think on form it should be the other way round. Here's Pope now from the other end for the Clarets. Long kick forward towards Chris Wood on the far side. It's Wood and Rodriguez up front. Rodriguez into the starting 11 by virtue of the fact he scored a terrific headed winning goal, and Burnley got themselves a free kick on the far side. Fabian Delph, I think, the man who was penalised. And you can just hear the Burnley fans there singing Lancashire Homes in the background. Quite a number of them have made the journey here on a bitterly cold day here on Merseyside here on Boxing Day. This is where Burnley are good at, and Ancelotti will have hopefully studied this. He's got big Duncan Ferguson to his left as well. He's having a chat there already with fourth official Jeremy Simpson. It's a Burnley free kick. Left it in from the right-hand side. Looking towards Tarkowski. Mia got a good header in towards the back post. And it might be turned in there by one. And it was off the line. It was off the line by Mina and Burnley. Almost winning, what? A couple of minutes of the first half. Starting almost in throat. And the set piece here worked an absolute treat. Me virtually unmarked. And then the header back across from the far side. Almost led to a goal. Mina got it off the line. 2.25 minutes gone. 0-0. Corner comes in. Westwood into the air. It goes. And the ball out of play. And it's a goal kick. Jack Cork got the header in at the left-hand post, the far post. And behind for a goal kick. But Burnley putting real pressure on Everton right from the get-go here. Good to see from the Clarets, whose away performances have been quite, in the main, not very good. Burnley were really disappointed at Sheffield United, and they were very disappointing at Bournemouth until they got that late goal. Mind you, the weather didn't help things down there, but sometimes if you can get the results, you don't have to play well to get results. Burnley proved it to Bournemouth. If you hang in there and just ride your luck, things will come off. And it was an important win because it does take the pressure off this game a little bit. There's other scorelines earlier today. Tottenham, I just thought Rodriguez was just going to dispossess Pickford there for 1 second. Just to remind you, Tottenham beat Brighton 2-1 at the London Stadium, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this afternoon. There's other 3 cup games going on. Aston Villa against Norwich, Bournemouth against Arsenal, Chelsea Southampton, Crystal Palace against West Ham, Sheffield United and Watford. I don't know if they've kicked off yet. United and Newcastle come up at 5:30. And then our second match will be at 8 o'clock between Leicester City and Liverpool. But we'll keep you across all the 3 cup games as soon as we get. I don't know what's happening at Sheffield United. I don't think they've kicked off yet. They've been it's been delayed by 10 minutes. So there's a bit of a delay in the Sheffield United game. So they'll be kicking off at 10 minutes past. 4 minutes gone here at Goodison Park. You've missed nothing. It's Everton 0, Burnley 0 on the JB Clark YouTube channel. First of 2 live matches this afternoon. Or today rather. You know, we've got Manchester City's away trip to Wolves tomorrow evening. Everton, who have been struggling recently, and they're struggling here because Coleman has took a while there to shake off one of the Clarets markers there, and here come Everton now. This is Richarlison. He's gone right through the middle. Burnley need to get challenges in there, and Tarkowski did just that. For a moment I thought Burnley were backing off him there and somewhat rotten, and Tarkowski got in the way of that one. The Clarets have just got to stay switched on right from the word go here today. It's a big game for Everton, this. Ancelotti saying in his press conference that he wants to get Everton into Champions League territory. Well, he's got a lot of work to do and a lot of rebuilding, I think, to do, because this squad, although it's good on paper, they just haven't performed as a team this season. Although, having seen them in that quarter-final against Leicester before Christmas, they showed terrific character to come back from 2-0 down, because they were outplayed for 70 minutes here at Goodison Park before going out on penalties. It was 2 magnificent goals from Tom Davies and Leighton Baines, who incidentally are both on the bench. That got Everton into a position where they could have won the game on penalties, but obviously Leicester prevailed. Duncan Ferguson, good that Ancelotti's kept him on the coaching staff, because he's a big figure in the Everton dressing room. He's a big figure in the club. Mr. Everton, of course, but Everton have got a free kick here, so some Burnley got some defending to do here. The first goal, I believe, is going to be important. Sigurdsson's going to take it, I think. Yes, Sigurdsson right-footed in towards the far post. And a chance here, and a great save from Nick Pope from point-blank range. I think it might have been Calvert-Lewin in there. It was a bit of a crowd scene. Burnley didn't get it away defensively. It might have been Mina, in fact. Well, it was all a melee inside that area, and Burnley really got themselves in a little bit of a tangle there. Let's see who had the first effort. It was Calvert-Lewin who had the initial shot. It might have been Mason Holgate, in fact. It was Holgate. He gave him a lot of space there. Nick Pope, thankfully for Burnley, has kept the score at 0-0. But Everton, that could have been ahead, thanks to some wonderful defending from the set piece there. The Clarets need to switch on and mark up better. Anyway, it's a goal kick. Pope to take. Could have been 1-0 Everton, but it remains goalless. Wood tried to win the header. Didn't know where the ball had gone. It's now broken to Mina now for Everton. Holgate now over to the far side. It hasn't deterred the Burnley fans from the Claret supporters from singing. And oh, wait a moment, Richarlison, good play there from Taylor, got in the way of that, but Richarlison's won possession now. There could be a problem. Taylor blocking that attempted crossing by Sidibe, and it's a corner again to Everton, and they've got to mark up better this time from the corner, as opposed to the last set piece was a free kick, and they didn't mark up Everton players, especially the two centre backs, well enough. So corner kick, 7.5 minutes gone. Everton starting to pressurise the Clarets a little bit, which is a bit worrying from this commentator's point of view. Here comes the corner, into the penalty area again from Sigurdsson. Pope comes a long way and gets it, edge of the 6-yard box, virtually unchallenged, and that was good safe handling. He's played terrifically well already in this first 8 minutes. He's made a point blank save and has handled well. He handled well at Bournemouth. His handling was first rate. So was Aaron Ramsdale's in the last game at Bournemouth. Of course, Pope kept his clean sheet. And I think Pope is the natural successor to Tom Heaton. I don't think there's much doubt about that. He showed in that season when he replaced Tom, when Tom got injured in the team, when Tom was at the club, that he proved how good he could be on making magnificent save after magnificent save on each occasion. And I remember a few saves he pulled off during that season, which got him England honours, got him an England call-up, and was an understudy to Pickford at the opposite end today in the England side that reached the World Cup semi-finals, of course. That's his Holgate in possession. Inside to Mina, still 10 yards inside their own half here, Everton. And we'll be at another noisy ground tonight. King Power Stadium, top against second. Leicester City, who are second, Liverpool first. If Leicester can remember, Liverpool unbeaten. They've just won the Club World Cup, of course. And what a game that really does promise to be. If Leicester could get points there, that will really open up things at the top of the Premier League, and we'll be across that with great relish today. And I'll be again in the box. So not one but two live commentaries for you today, and then we go to Wolves tomorrow for that match against Manchester City. 9.5 minutes gone then at Goodison Park. It's Everton 0, Burnley 0 in the game live. First of two live games for you today. Second one at 8 o'clock, of course. That top against second encounter. And every game being televised again by Amazon Prime, whose coverage of it is really, really good. I enjoyed the coverage, and you can watch it on demand whenever you want. It's a fantastic thing to have, and for £7.99 a month, I think it's fantastic value. You get quality programmes, not just football, but the Grand Tour if you're into Clarkson, Bay and Hammond, and one or two other bits. It's a really, really good service, and very enjoyable. You can also stream music on it as well, I believe. A little plug there for Amazon Prime. Yeah, no foul there. Well, there was against Taylor there on Richarlison. I didn't think there was much in it, to be fair. Maybe Richarlison just went a little bit too easily here. It's a slight push, but I think Richarlison just made a little bit of a meal of what it needed to be. 10 minutes gone, 10.5 minutes gone here at Goodison. It's still 0-0. Although Mason Holgate's come very, very close. Just to remind you, but Tottenham 2, Brighton 1, Villa 0, Norwich 0, Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 0, Chelsea, Southampton, that's only 6 minutes old. Palace 0, West Ham 0, that's 8 minutes old. Sheffield United 0, Watford 0, that's just kicked off at Bramall Lane. I think there are a couple of minutes in there, 0-0. Here's Richarlison now to Delph, inside the Burnley half of the field. About 10 yards inside, but they've gone now to the left-hand side. And any goals that will go in, we'll keep you abreast of that. And of course, we'll have needless to say, we'll have a little bit of a classified check, a rundown of all today's scores at the end of today's show, which will finish at around about 5:15 this afternoon for a couple of hours, and then we'll be back on the air at 7:45. Here's Richarlison running towards the area. Brady takes him down, and a free kick, although Burnley quite vehemently protested it was a dive. And Richarlison does have a bit of a reputation to to make a meal of things in the past. I've seen him do this before. Brady's coming back at him. He's shoved him. Well, maybe just a little bit careless there, Robbie Brady. But it's a free kick and it's Gylfi Sigurdsson territory. I think Robbie Brady had fancied that one as well. He's not really produced his best football since that long-term injury he picked up at Leicester 18 months ago when they finished 7th. Nick Pope has got some wall building to do here. It's about 25-30 yards out, just to the right of centre here. So we've had 12 minutes of the first half. If the commentary does sound a little bit Claris biased, I do apologise. Luca Dean fancies it as well. He scored against Burnley here, or at Turf Moor a year ago. This game was played a year ago at Turf Moor, and Everton ran out 5-1 winners. A lot of Everton fans there, and a few Burnley fans as well. A few of my fellow Burnley fans sending a little bit of support as well. This is an interesting situation. Will it be the left foot of Digne or the right foot of Sigurdsson? There are 5 in the Claret's wall. It's Digne with the left foot, and it's hit that wall, and it's going to be a corner kick. I think the wall went past the post, went way past the right-hand post of Nick Pope, and he did a Gladys Street end for a corner. 13 minutes gone here, 3 minutes gone. Everton 0, Burnley 0 on the JB Claret YouTube channel. 20 forward in blue, 20 back in Claret as you'd expect. Again, Pope comes up and he was fouled inside the 6-yard area. And Burnley get the free kick. In fact, I think it might have been Bernard who fouled him. And a little fist bump between Pope and Tarkowski. As we see, I'm just seeing a replay there. Yes, pulling hold of his shirt there, Bernard. You can't get away with that in the modern game. This is an audio commentary stream. I'm not allowed to show any footage on YouTube. Pope, oh dear, kicks or slips over really, and let's keep the comments to the football, please. No live stream links or anything like that. For those who don't have Amazon Prime, this is probably your best chance of watching it or listening to anything that goes on. We do provide an audio commentary service to people that are partially sighted or blind or whatever. There's a lot of people that rely on the commentaries here. Not every game can be covered by Radio 5. Anyway, free kick towards the far. That's a poor free kick towards the near side there from Burnley. Need to be an awful lot better there. Westwood. Was it Westwood? No, it was Tarks who took it. Tarkowski took it. Nicknamed Tarks, of course. Usual coaching staff there. Tony Lochran and Ian Wone. Sean Dyche's lieutenants. Vasquez is well, good afternoon from Houston. Well, I'm being heard in Houston, Texas, USA. An Everton fan from the US. Good to have you all the way in the United States of America. Burnley have a free kick. The Clarets have a free kick. Come on. With all due respect to Everton, come on Burnley. I'm a Burnley fan, by the way, commentating, so it's a little bit biased. I do apologise. McNeil with a free kick into the penalty area, and it's hooked away there by Everton. It wasn't a great free kick that Dwight McNeil has put in. Then the ball hooked back across, and it's going to be taken inside the penalty area under no great pressure by Jordan Pickford. Everton really flattering, to deceive really. How they're in this position at the bottom towards the bottom of the league, God only knows. They have a decent team and decent potential. And I did back them to finish around 7th or 8th this season in my predictor video at the start, where me, Chris Whiteman, and a fellow Burnley fan, Chris Whiteman and Russ Vernon and I, we discussed where all 20 Premier League teams. We also went for Sheffield United finish rock bottom. What a bad omen that turned out to be for us. They're in 5th position at the moment and drawing 0-0. I don't try, to be honest with you, Thomas, I don't make predictions. I'm very, very superstitious. I'd like to see Burnley win, but head says a draw. I think a draw today would be a good result for Burnley. The pressure's off a little bit because of the Bournemouth result, and there's going to be bigger points to play for later on in the season. Manchester United coming up next for Burnley on the 28th. Everton having the better chances at the moment. After 16 minutes, they forced a great save from Nick Pope. Burnley have had a little sniff at the start, but have been on the defensive a little bit. The game's just petered out a little bit as from a neutral's point of view. It's not becoming as stretched as it's going to be attack against defence for a lot of the time, and Everton doing a lot of the attacking here as Seamus Coleman went on a good run, but a terrific Luca Dean went on a run down the far side. Brady with the interception, the Irish international. We're putting in some great performances for the Republic in recent weeks. Not so for Burnley, of course. A lot of talk about Dwight McNeil's feature as well in the papers. Subject of bids elsewhere in the country to better teams, and that's no disrespect to my side, because we always want to see Burnley do remarkably well. Here's Coleman to bring it away for Everton. 0-0 is the score. If you've just joined us here on the JB Claret YouTube channel, it's actually the game live on the titles, but it's a Claret's game. And it's 0-0, but Everton have forced the best chances, and they forced a great save from Nick Pope around about the 7-minute mark. Here's Holgate. He was the man who was denied. He's on the ball now. Rookie team playing it forward, and Bernard, and a good overlapping run, and Dean can't get there, but Tarkowski got back as well. Good defending there by the former Brentford centre-back. 18.5 minutes gone. The Clarets holding it here, digging in here against Everton. 0-0. Burnley do get an unfair tag, and as a Claret, it annoys me a little bit from opposition fans that we're anti-football. We're not anti-football. We have to play to our strengths. What people don't realise at Burnley is it's not a financial powerhouse compared to an Everton or compared to an Everton or a Manchester United and Manchester Cities and Liverpools of this world. They are, in comparison, not the big financial powerhouses. As Coleman makes his way to the penalty area. Danger here for Burnley. Good defending there by Charlie Taylor on the edge of his own 6-yard area. Seamus Coleman, when he gets into that final third, he does roar forward, and that was a real dangerous moment there for the Clarets. 19.5 minutes gone. Let's keep the comments about the game and no betting or anything like that. We do have a lot of youngsters that come on this channel. We are a family programme. Let's keep betting and stuff to a minimum. But if you are going to have a bet on any football today, do it responsibly, please. Everton on the break now with Kelfie Sigurdsson. Back to Seamus Coleman. Now Mina takes charge. Still halfway inside the Everton half. Now Bernard takes, or rather Holgate takes possession. That's a lovely bit of play there by Bernard. Caught all the way inside the Burnley half, but then Burnley win it back, and then Taylor is taken out of it quite conclusively there. I think it was Gylfi Sigurdsson who pushed his man. It was. Free kick to Burnley. It's going to be Charlie Taylor. No, he's going to leave it for Nick Pope, I believe. They were trying to show an action replay on Amazon Prime, and they missed it. Well, the good thing is that let's just check what's been going on now elsewhere then. Latest scores that we've got so far. We've had 21 minutes, 0-0 between Aston Villa and Norwich, 0-0 between Bournemouth and Arsenal, same amount of time. Chelsea have had 22 minutes in their match against Southampton, who have picked up a bit of form. That's 0-0. Palace and West Ham, that's also 0-0. And Sheffield United, they kicked off 10 minutes later than everybody else as well, and they're 0-0 as well. No goals in any of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Just to remind you what happened at Tottenham, Kane and Ali scoring in a comeback win for Spurs after Webster had put Brighton in front in that game. It's Everton taking command here against Burnley, but no goals yet. The Clarets holding on here at the moment. And it's going to have to be patience for Burnley, I think. In terms of you look at the two squads on paper, Everton do have the better quality, but Burnley have the Clarets, as I know very well, watching Burnley week in, week out, do have a determination and a will to succeed. But it's a free kick, and again a free header. And this time it was Calvert-Lewin. He's just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Another great free kick from the right-hand side by Gylfi Sigurdsson. Calvert-Lewin no more than 8 yards out. Could have put Everton in front again. It was a little bit lax, the Clarets marking, it's got to be said. That was poor, really. Burnley more known for their man-to-man marking, as opposed to certain other teams taking the zonal approach. I think Carlo Ancelotti will be the happier manager than Sean Dyche at the moment. His team are certainly on the front foot, Ancelotti's. Bit of a surprise appointment, I've got to tell you. You compare that to Arsenal have plumped for Mikel Arteta, a manager with really no experience. I think Farhad Moshiri, if you compare the two manager appointments, I think Farhad Moshiri's probably hit the mark with this one more than Stan Kroenke's hit the mark with Arteta in terms of what they've achieved on paper. I know Pep Guardiola was doing great schooling from somebody like Arteta, who was his lieutenant at Manchester City. He was his number 2 at Manchester City. Right, there's a win probability on this now. Burnley have a 23% chance of winning. Everton have a 45% chance of winning and 32% chance at draw. That's a live win probability. We're halfway through the first half. 23.5 minutes. Still 0-0. Taylor taking the throw in near side. Flick on by Wood on the near touchline, and then Rodriguez is fouled there by Coleman. Free kick to Burnley, just inside the Everton half on the near side, the left-hand side of Burnley. Dwight McNeil has got the ball. We'll take it left-footed. Tarkowski has ambled forward here. Taylor wants a piece of it, but he's leaving it now. McNeil to take the set piece towards the edge of the Everton penalty area. Again, the heads were up. Little flick on there, almost finding Rodriguez, and then the ball hooked back towards the penalty area, but it's well taken easily by Jordan Pickford. It was Bardsley who knocked the ball forward, but into no man's land, where goalkeeper Pickford was close at hand to take the ball inside his own penalty area. 24.5 minutes gone. Everton 0, Burnley 0 in the Premier League. Elsewhere it's goalless, I believe. We'll let you know if any goals go in, and we'll keep you up to date with the scores. We'll have a 10-minute break, and then we'll give you all the half-time news from all the other 3 o'clock Premier League games. This is Sigurdsson now for Everton. There's the 2 live matches here on this channel. We've got Leicester-Liverpool tonight at kickoff at 8 o'clock, remember. Luca Dean now takes possession. Apologies there for a Coke bottle going over. It is a little bit windy out here. Delphus misplaced the pass, and Burnley can breathe again. So throw into the Clarets. Ancelotti wanting a bit more. 60 years old. 3 times a Champions League winner. A couple of times with AC Milan. And you see how bad they've fallen behind the times. It's sad to see a great club like AC Milan fall into such decline as they have done in the past. Hopefully Milan get their act together and get themselves back on a much more of a confidence, more confident within the club, and get themselves back to the top of Serie A, where and of course the Europe's top Serie, where I feel that they, reputation alone, they should be really belonging. Everton claim a free kick that the referee's not going to give, although we do have VAR on display at all the games today. Ours is Paul Tierney. And what's he giving here? I think he's not giving a foul here. I think Anthony Taylor's trying to say that Bardsley got the ball, and if you look at it on the replay, I think he does get the ball. I think Bernard is trying to con the referee, and there's no need for that, I'm afraid. And Holgate in a little bit of bother there because Rodriguez, the hometown boy, keeping close to him and then tries to close down Pickford as he attempts to kick clear. Burnley wins in on halfway, but it comes now to Seamus Coleman, who cuts in from the left-hand side. Still deep inside Everton territory here, it's got to be said. Holgate now on the left-hand side. Feeds Luca Dean, but then a good interception there by Jack Cork in the centre of the field. 27 gone. It's Everton 0, Burnley 0 on the JB Claret YouTube channel. My team in action as part of the two commentaries. Quite a number of Evertonians as well tuning in as well. Good to have the friendly banter as well. Keep your comments clean, incidentally. Still 0-0 elsewhere. Spurs won 2-1 today against plucky Brighton. This is Fabian Delph, 30 yards out, tries to shot, deflects us off one of the Burnley players. Might have been Westwood, in fact. Breaks kindly though to Richarlison on the left-hand side. Back in field again. Here's a chance now for a cross, and it's dug out towards the side. And then, well, what was Bardsley doing there? That was a needless corner. He was he had nobody with him, and within a 5-yard radius. Bernard's cross from the right, and what was Bardsley doing? If this leads to a goal, then I think Bardsley will have to take the blame for this. But he nearly forward from the back. Remember, Holgate nearly scored from a free kick earlier on in the piece. Well, we don't want to be conceding easy corners to Everton at this stage of the proceedings. Corner from the far side, whipped in swinger, away by Ben Mee, and then the shot back in. I think it might have been Sidibe trying the shot as the right-footed, and it was a very good challenge. And in fact, Everton win a throw-in. I'll come back to that comment of yours, question of yours, Thomas, in a second or two, because we got a real situation here. Tarkowski conceding the throw-in. Now Everton have a good position here, so once the plays have started, I'll answer that question about Ancelotti. Here's the left hand, and in fact a free kick to Everton. McNeil adjudged to have pulled Coleman back. I say adjudged. I didn't think there was much in it. But is this a free kick to Everton? 29 gone. Ancelotti's first game in charge. Everton, of course, now managed by 3 times Champions League winner. You tell the players want to play for him today. This is a free kick. Sigurdsson again. He's taken 1 or 2 good ones like this, and it's caused Burnley a lot of problems. Again, he chips it in from the right-hand side. This time it was better defending from Burnley than Brady completes the clearance to halfway, where Coleman wins it on halfway and finds Calvert-Lewin, who now in turn finds Richarlison, the Brazilian. That's a decent-looking cross, and it's headed away for a corner by Phil Bardsley. Now that is how to concede a corner. Not like the first one, where he conceded a needless corner. It was a necessity to win that ball and get it out of play. That was better from Bardo. Corner kick now to Everton. We've had half an hour here at Goodison. Welcome to Thomas's question in a minute. It's just that Everton are consistently laying siege to this Burnley goal at the moment. That's why we've got to stay with the action. Sigurdsson with the corner into the penalty area again. Another in-swinger towards the near post. And again, Burnley hook it out towards halfway. As soon as we get a breaking play, I will answer that question, Thomas. I do just be patient a second or two, because I do have one or two opinions to say, and in fact, it's an Everton throw-in. So again, the siege continues on the Clarets' goal, but Burnley are not for budging. As the throw comes in, far side. Look at team trying to run forward, and I'm sure he'll have money to spend from Farhad Mashiri as the ball back to the upper end. I'll answer the question now, Thomas. I think it's a good. Well, it was certainly a surprise. Obviously, Ancelotti must have had a good look at the squad and the potential of his club. They're moving to a new stadium in 5 years' time. Although it'd be sad to see Goodison Park go, I think that will be a fortress for them. But here's Bernard. I'll just answer the second part in a second. And now a chance now for Sidibe, who shoots across, and it's saved by Pullman, and it came off Bardsley, and then somehow the ball ricocheted across the penalty area. It could have gone anyway, even towards the back of the net. Fortunately for Burnley, it didn't, and it's still 0-0 by the grace of God here. Everton laying siege. It's Holgate now over the halfway line for Everton as they build again, this time down the left-hand side. Here's Bernard. In real to Delph. 10 yards inside the Burnley half. It's all Everton at the moment here. Burnley can't get out their own half at the moment. Delph again takes it 10 yards inside the Burnley half, and then Brady cuts it out and just gives Burnley a little bit of respite. That's a poor ball off at Brady. Just didn't take his time there. Didn't look up enough. And here's Richarlison again. Right through the centre again. Tries a speculative long-range shot. Blocked by Ben Mee. Now Coleman down the right-hand side. Southampton have taken the lead at Chelsea. Obafemi with a goal after 31 minutes. Lampard's team on a bit of a bad run. Ben Mee takes the ball off Calvert-Lewin as he was closing in there to shoot. And Pope then gets it out of play for a throw-in. Yeah, I think if you can get a good squad together. He's talked about Thomas trying to get Everton into the Champions League. So he's got ambitious plans for the club, as we just see that Sidibe chance where Pope gets a good hand of it and then he hits Bardsley and it somehow stays out for Burnley. Thank for the grace of God here. But at the moment, it's Everton really laying on the pressure. Ben Mee gets the ball away now for Burnley. Now Westwood to bring it away. Now McNeil. A little bit of respite here for the Clarets as McNeil goes back to Taylor. And Taylor back to me. Burnley have just got to slow it down and just frustrate the Evertonians here at the moment, because Everton are really building up ahead of steam here. And I'll be interested to see how the wing predictors got it as we come towards the end of the first half. But wait a minute, here's Chris Wood deep inside Everton territory. Now McNeil. Can Burnley pinch something here on the counter-attack? This is Bardsley now on the far side. Trying to link up with Brady, who looks really out of place on the right-hand side. Although, having said that, Luca Dean has fouled him and it's a free kick. Coming up towards 11 minutes of the first half to play. And Burnley now, you sense there's going to be this is going to be their best chance to score from set plays. And without trying to put my biased hat on, if Burnley score, I'll be jumping up for joy. But having said all that, it will come against the round of the play because Everton have made most of the running. And I have to say that through gritted teeth as a Burnley fan. But we're used to it. Free kick to Burnley. They've taken it short. What referee's not happy. It'll have to be retaken. I think they mucked it up anyway, so the referee wasn't happy, and well, they'll get a second bite here, Burnley, on the right-hand side, the far side as we look here. Come on, Burnley's the cry from our fellow Clarets. Can Burnley fashion a goal and enough go out here from this set piece? And it goes towards Wood. Oh, from 6 yards he should be scoring. Amani Chris Wood's form. That was a free header. Beautiful free kick here from Brady. Wood may have had it chalked off anyway for offside because he was offside as that free kick was played in. So if it had gone in, I think VAR would have intervened anyway. 10 to play before half time, and again the referee's not happy about quickly taking set plays and free kicks and the like. The last thing we need now, after from a game point of view, is Anthony Taylor to start getting fussy over little niggling things. Here's Sidibe now for Everton. Oh, cheeky little back flick into the path for Sigurdsson. It was the side of his foot. He just dummied the ball and then flicked it away with the side of his right foot. It was a magnificent piece of skill. It's not got Everton anywhere. This is Coleman now. In towards Sidibe again. Tried a little back flick around the corner. But Charlie Taylor wasn't fooled by that. Everton get a throw in. Midway side, the Burnley half on the right hand side. Good first half this. Coleman was in possession there to Dwight McNeil. Then the 1-2 being played down the right. This is Sidibe now in possession. He's lost. Oh, now then. What's happened here? Burnley have got a man down. That's what's happened. Who was it? Dwight McNeil's the man down there with a challenge there from Gylfi Sigurdsson. Everton fans don't like it, but Sigurdsson did collide with McNeil, and Ali Beattie, who's a is one not to take any risk at any one point. This would be a blow for Burnley if they were to lose Dwight McNeil at this stage of the game. Just the one goal. I can tell you that Southampton have scored. Obafemi is the goal scorer. Any other goals that have gone in, we'll let you know. Watford have scored at Sheffield United, incidentally. I can tell you that there's been some other goals that have gone in. Live at 7:45 at the King Power. I'll be hot-footing it from Goodison to the King Power across the country. Right, earlier today, Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. And there's been some goals elsewhere. Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 0. And Sheffield United 0, Watford 1. Nigel Pearson's side with a goal there. So a goal. Dan Gudson scored Bournemouth's goal against Arsenal. We may be staying below Burnley as things stand at the moment. 27 minutes gone at Sheffield United, incidentally. They kicked off 10 minutes later than usual. And we'll find out who the scorer of that goal for Watford was in just a second. In fact, I'll tell you now. Gerard Delafeu, the former Blue, with the goal there. Meanwhile, back here at Goodison Park, it's a free kick to Everton. Very cold and rainy sort of day at the moment. There's Calvert-Lewin is tricked there by Tarkowski. So Mikel Arteta's debut as Arsenal manager not going well here at the moment. 0-0 is the score. 38 gone. Everton have had a couple of really big opportunities. Mason Holgate having the best. Well saved at point blank range by Nick Pope. Sigurdsson again will take the free kick. Maybe Luca Dean as well. Mina's forward from the back. So too is Mason Holgate. It's floated in there from the far side. And well won again. Not for the first time by James Tarkowski. Will be an Everton corner on the far side. Sigurdsson took the free kick. It wasn't a particularly good free kick that Sigurdsson put in there. Now Burnley have got to switch on again. They can't afford to be lackadaisical at the back. Boxing Day commentaries. We've got two of them live. Later on, we feature Everton's neighbours Liverpool against Leicester. Into the corner. In comes the corner. Well taken by Nick Pope. Again, starting position. Caught it from around about the edge of the area and finished up near the penalty spot with the ball firmly in his grasp. McNeil is actually fine and ready to carry on again anyway, so he's back with us. Gorelli Beatty working the old magic again as Ben Mee goes back to Nick Pope. Slices the clearance, but it might just slice kindly there for Rodriguez. Mina winning that one. Battle then of there by Jack Cork inside the centre circle. Yes, Delafeu, 27 minutes. They kicked off 10 minutes late. I think it was due to traffic congestion at Bramall Lane. So that's still a little bit to go in that game. Sheffield United, who have been performing above every expectation at the moment. I think I've got 29 points this season. That is just insane amount from a promoted side who were written off and given absolutely next to no chance at the start of the season. And you look at what they've done during the season, it's just been unsurpassable. But Watford and Nigel Pearson thinks that Watford are going to win this one. That one. Well, he may well. He won't be taking it lightly, that's for sure. 4.5 minutes to go to half time. Everton 0, Burnley 0. Everton have a throw-in on the edge of their own penalty area, or in line of their edge of their own penalty area on the near side. And I just want to say, as Holgate takes possession, I hope you've all had a fantastic Christmas. I hope you didn't go mad on the Christmas pud yesterday. I'm still fit to bursting from my lunch yesterday, and plenty of trifles and cheesecakes and the like. And my voice is going to burn all that off today. Now then, a chance here for Everton. Luca Dean making the break, and back comes Tarkowski. That was good defending there from Burnley. Looking very solid again. Bernard takes possession on the left-hand side. Dean now has it on the edge of the area. Chips the ball in there towards Calvert-Lewin. It gets the header in, but it goes over the bar. And a goal kick to Burnley. It remains 0-0 with 3.5 minutes of normal time to go. Remember, Sheffield United 0, Watford 1. Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 0, Chelsea 0, Southampton 1. The rest of the scores, including this game we're commentating on, are all goalless. Manchester United Newcastle, that's at 5:30. And Pope's kick, oh, that's a poor kick from Pope. He was a bit laxy days ago with his kicking the other day, and now could put Burnley in trouble. But Tarkowski has read that through ball from Richarlison really well. And Burnley get away with it with 3 minutes of the first half to go. Pope just needs to work on his goal kicking a bit. He's made some good saves in the first half, Nick. But he just needs to maybe just work on his goal kicking a little bit more. And maybe just get his brain into gear a little bit. Two and a half minutes to half time, still 0-0. Goodison Park, one of the oldest grounds in the country. Turf Moor certainly up there as well as a proper traditional ground, of course. Seamus Coleman comes bursting down the right now for Everton. Still 0-0 here. And now number 19, Sidibe takes over. Now here's Delph in from the start today in favour of Tom Davis. And they've changed formation slightly here, Angelotti. He's gone 4-4-2 and he's matched Burnley in the way that his team want to play. And really matched up against Burnley's 2 banks of 4 as well. That looked a foul there on... well, he's given a corner there. I thought there was a free kick there for a foul on Charlie Taylor. I'm a little bit surprised the referee didn't give it Burnley's way. With 90 seconds of the first half to go, plus any stoppage time, I felt that was a Burnley free kick. But Everton have got the decision. It was a corner. I think the ball had run out of play, but I felt Taylor was fouled. But from the naked eye, it's hard to say. As that corner comes in, Sigurdsson. Ball comes out. The shouts of shoot there as Luca Dean hit it. And he can hit a long-range shot, Luca Dean. But once again, his left-footed attempt is blocked by Tarkowski. Goes into the Gladys Street end. It's an Everton corner, this time on the far side. Sigurdsson to take another corner. This is Everton's 6th corner compared to Burnley's 1. You can see how dominant Everton have been as regards the attacking sense of the game. Last minute of the first half, we've got about 40 seconds of normal time to play. Sigurdsson again, another in-swinging corner, half away by Cork. Delph picks up the loose ball, finds Sidibe, chips it in from the right-hand side, flick on again, and another good header one this time by the brilliant James Tarkowski, who's threw his body and more in the way of everything that Everton have thrown at him in this first 44 and a bit minutes. And Burnley get a free kick as Tarkowski, in making that clearance, was fouled. So, not many goals have gone in the first half of the 3 o'clock games. Just the 3 as I count at the moment. We're just going to double check what else is happening. We're going to have the board up. I think it's going to be 1 minute of stoppage time. Yes, Jeremy Simpson saying it's 1 minute of added time. And they're not happy, the Everton fans. So let me just run through the hover scores. Villa 0, Norwich 0. That's a big game for both sides. Both Burundi in the bottom 3 at the moment. They're playing at Villa Park. Let's just break off for a second because Burnley have possession here. This is Jack Cork. Can they do what they did at Bournemouth at the end of this first half and nick a goal in stoppage time? Taylor bursting down that left-hand side and he gets a corner. Burnley second. Sidibe thinks it should be a goal kick. He's got his hands on his head, complaining to the referee. Let's see who comes off last. Well, I think, and I'm not trying to be biased here, I think that's off Sidibe quite clearly to me. Well, this is going to be the last play of the first half for certain. Can Burnley sneak ahead? Oh, that's ridiculous. We've played a minute. Anthony Taylor should have allowed that corner to be taken. That's absolutely disgraceful from the referee. Just as they were about to take it, he blew for half-time. Nick Pope was... Burnley are furious, and you can understand why. It should be allowed to be taken. Anthony Taylor, hang your head in shame. That corner should have been taken, and that has infuriated Ben Mee. It's infuriated 2 or 3 of the Burnley players. That is absolutely ridiculous. The corner should have been taken, and then half-time. That is a frustrating end. And the referee, I'm afraid, has not won too many favours, I'm afraid to say, at Goodison Park, as the teams reluctantly make their way off. It should have been still a corner to Burnley at the end of it all. But Burnley will be frustrated by that. And, well, there we are. But let me... Well, I am a Burnley fan, all things considered, but we want to see the game played in the spirit of the game played, not to the letter. I'd like to see the letter of the law applied, but more the spirit of the game. But I think if Burnley have earned that right, I mean, other teams have been allowed to take corners after stoppage time, and that to me is the frustration. But to be fair, Everton have been the better side, there's no doubt about that, and Nick Pope has been in terrific form. Everton should have been 2 or 3 up, but the best chance they wasted, Mason Holgate from 3 yards out hit the ball straight at Nick, swept a shot and hit Nick Pope, and then the rebound was hit wide by Mina. Everton have been the better side in fairness, but there you go. Burnley are still with a shout, but they have been second best in the first half. James Tarkowski has been defensively sound. I just felt the referee could have just been a little bit more lenient and just allowed that final corner to be played. But there you go. Yeah, I can understand Burnley's frustrations, and as a Burnley fan myself, and without trying to be too biased, I've seen other teams allowed to have corners taken against Burnley in the past. So why can't the same thing be applied in Burnley's favour? But there you go. That's the problem with certain referees. Anyway, half-time here at Goodison Park. We'll take a 10-minute break in a second. Let me just run through all the half-time scores, or the latest scores, before we break off. There has been a few. In fact, half-time: Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 0. You know about Chelsea 0, Southampton 1, Palace 0, West Ham 0. Our match is 0-0. And Sheffield United have equalised against Watford. I'll give you the goal scorer in that one. Remember, they kicked off about 5 or 6 minutes early, and they've just equalised. Oliver Norwood with a penalty after 36 minutes. So I'm going to take a 5-minute break. After that break, we'll check on half-time and what's to come later on, because this is the first of 2 live commentary games. Don't forget, at 8 o'clock tonight, we'll be on the air about 7:45. Don't forget, so join us, Luke Aiden, if you can, for part of the game. We've got Liverpool against... we've got Liverpool away at Leicester City. Top versus second at the King Power, and I'll be on the air live, so there we are. But our time here, Burnley... frustrating Everton. Everton should have been in front, but haven't. But thankfully, from this Burnley fan's point of view, it's still 0-0, and with it all to play for in the second half. Burnley 0, Everton 0. Burnley 0 is a half-time score. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Welcome back to Goodison Park. Well, we've just seen something really brilliant happen on the pitch at half-time. We've had a marriage proposal. Two Evertonians an Everton fan and his missus have two Everton fans, a girl and a boy. They've obviously boyfriend and girlfriend. They're now engaged to be married. It's just gone over the tunnel here at Goodison Park. So 0-0. Well, absolutely fantastic. Right, let me run through all the half-time. I usually take a few minutes break before each game. Just to remind you that just going slightly away from the football at the moment, the JB Clark YouTube channel, in case you haven't realised or you've been on a different planet to Earth in the last few days, next week will be 10 years old. 2020 will be 10 years old, and we'll be doing some special audio documentaries. We'll be doing one with England because we covered two tournaments from the World Cup and the European Championship. So that will be charting England's fall and rise under Roy Hodgson and rise back under Gareth Southgate, of course. And we'll have a review of the year as well in January, and of course we'll have commentary on different sports during the summer. We'll have Formula 1 commentary, and we'll have cricket commentary on the T20. It's going to be, in fact, let me just tell you what we've got coming up later tonight. Just to answer your question, Ethan, it's not the only game we're doing today. We're doing the big one tonight, 8 o'clock, and again, I'll be on the mic for that one. So my voice is doing overtime tonight, and we'll be doing the big game from the King Power Stadium between second place Leicester City and top of the table Liverpool, who are yet to lose this season in the Premier League, who just won the Club World Cup Championships in Qatar last Saturday. And of course, if you have subscribed to Prime Video, which is what we're doing at the moment, if you're watching this game on Prime Video and listening to my commentary, you can watch the Grand Tour. The Seaman Grand Tour, where they're not in cars, they're in boats, and you'll be able to see that now on Amazon Prime. $7.99 a month, and you get all your shows, TV shows, and you get on demand, and you get over 1,000. You get plenty of music to download as well, music downloads as well. We'll be on the air around about 7:45 to 9:45 to 8 tonight. It's just a bit of a big build-up to the game, of course, because obviously a game like this game like the one tonight needs a big build-up, and we'll be on the air till 5:30 this evening, picking the bones out of this one at the moment, which is goalless at half-time, in case you joined us late. Let me just keep you up to date with all the half-times in the Premier League that have happened so far. Arsenal are in trouble against Bournemouth. Jan Gosling's 35th minute goal is giving Bournemouth the lead in that game against... Let me tell you what's happening elsewhere. So, Southampton in front against Chelsea. Obafemi scored the goal in that game. So let me go through all the full times as well. Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. That's a full time score. That kicked off at 12:45 or 12:30. Webster had put Brighton ahead after 37 minutes, and then Kane 9 minutes into the second half, and then Dele Alli 18 minutes from the end, giving Spurs a 2-1 victory over plucky Brighton. So 2-1 it finished between Spurs and Brighton. Let me check in all the half-time scores. They're just about to finish at Bramall Lane for the first half, which is still 1-1. Let me know. That's the latest score. So these are the other games all half-time. This one you're listening to, Everton Burnley, that's 0-0. So too is Aston Villa against Norwich and Crystal Palace West Ham. There have been goals elsewhere. Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 0. Gosling with the goal there. Obafemi scoring for Southampton in their match away at Chelsea. Frank Lampard's team have been on a downward slide. They've not won in about 5 or 6. And as I say, Sheffield United 1, Watford 1. Ollie Norwood with a penalty cancelling out an earlier Watford goal. At 5:30 this evening, Manchester United Newcastle. And of course, we'll have Leicester Liverpool. That's our second main match. And then tomorrow we've got more live commentary football for you. Again, this time from the Premier League. We're at Molineux for Wolves against Manchester City, and I think that's going to be an absolute massive humdinger of a match, and I think that'll be great, and that will be a nice... And then there'll be more Premier League action on Saturday, and then, of course, New Year FA Cup games as well to come in the new year. There's lots of other great surprises like behind the scenes of these commentaries that we do as well. We'll be doing a behind the scenes video as well. Plenty of great stuff to watch out for on this channel in 2020. And of course we'll have FIFA 20 content with our reboot of the old ITV football series The Match. Enjoyed that one as well. Newcated says he predicted 1-0 Everton. I'm not surprised actually the way that Everton will be perked up for this game with the Carlo Ancelotti effect. But they have knocked on the door for 45 minutes, it has to be said. I did kick off at the end of half time when Burnley should have been allowed to take a corner even though it was past the 1 minute. Everton are just out on the pitch incidentally at Goodison Park. Jordan Pickford just coming out the tunnel there. Richarlison out on the field. Real traditional football ground here, as you can hear. Another Everton song being sung there. Absolutely anonymous. I hope you're dropping by a bit later on for the big game tonight between Leicester and Liverpool. 7:45 to 10 to 8 we start our coverage. And you can do West Brom and Barnsley. There is championship action and we'll have a full classified check in between reaction here at Goodison Park until 5:30. Burnley still waiting to come out onto the field. We're just looking across at Bill Kenwright, the Everton chairman. Farhad Moshiri is not here today. Bit of a coup this for Everton. You'd have thought it would have been Mikel Arteta going to Goodison Park and Ancelotti to Arsenal, but there must have been more ambition shown by Everton towards Ancelotti than Arsenal could ever show. Burnley to get us underway. They're just back out onto the field for the start of the second half. And as much as I can see across from the commentary box, no changes at half time. And I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. The win possibility, well, it's decreased for Burnley slightly from the last time we saw it, 22%. Mind you, the draws are favourable one at 40% and 38% reckon an Everton victory. 0-0 here. Burnley to get us underway. Ashley Westwood to get us underway. And no substitutions as I can see, as the game is about to reconvene here at Goodison Park. Burnley in Carbon and Blue attacking the Gladys Street end to my right. Everton attacking the Sir Philip Carter Park Road end to my left, and they're in all blue. This is an early chance here for Burnley, and the shot, well, in fact, it went well wide. In fact, it's gone out for a throw-in. An attempted right-footed shot there by Jay Rodriguez from about 25, 30 yards, just to the left of the penalty area. He must have caught that badly for it to go out for a throw-in right by the corner flag on the near side. Anyway, so Luca Dean to take the throw-in. On the left-hand side, Calvert-Lewin battling for that and getting the decision. Throwing to Everton, just past the midway mark of the Everton half. I wonder what both managers would have said, Sean Dyche and Carlo Ancelotti. I never thought I'd be saying this in the same sentence. Well, you'll be able to listen to the games here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. We'll have it all live for you. And Takedown, thank you very much for following me. I think that's more a thing. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you'd like to enjoy some of the content we've got coming up in the next 12 months now and in the next 12 months in our 10th anniversary year, hit the subscribe button. And if you want notifications of any commentary streams or any other videos, hit the notification bell. We'll be glad to have you on with us. Keep it clean though, we're our family show. As Burnley were at the first corner, then the ball hit back in there with interest by Brady. Ben Mee still up there. Westwood battling on the edge of the area, trying to hook it forward. Burnley having a little bit of a good start to the second half here, forcing the corner and forcing Everton into one or two problems in defence. But Brady has ridiculously fouled his man stupidly there, and he's given a cheap free kick away to Everton. A little bit careless on Robbie Brady's behalf. Let me remind you the 2-11s. Pickford for Everton, Coleman, Mina, Holgate and Dean, look at Dean on the back four. Sigurdsson, Delph, Bernard. Sigurdsson, Sidibe, Sigurdsson, Delphin, Bernard are the midfield four. It's a 4-4-2 essentially. They're matching Burnley in formation. And up front it's Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. On the bench it's Stecklenburg, Baines, Keane, Walcott, Townsend, Davis and Moise Keane. Burnley are on the attack here with Pope in goal, with Bardsley, Tarkowski, May and Taylor the back four. Then it's Brady on the right, Cork and West with the two central midfielders, and McNeil on the left. Up front we've got Jay Rodriguez in for Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood. Brady in for the suspended Jeff Emerick. On the bench for the Clarets, Joe Hart, Matt Lowton, Johan Berg Gudmundsson returning on the bench. He might even get down at some point in the second half. Down the right hand side. Drinkwater, whose loan's coming to an end at the end of the month. Eric Peters, Kevin Long and Ashley Barnes. Referee Anthony Taylor from Wythenshawe in Greater Manchester. The two assistants are Garrett Bezic on the far side, Scott Ledger on the near. Fourth officials Jeremy Simpson, and the VIR referee in Stockley Park. Down in London is Paul Tierney. Here's Jack Court now for Burnley. Infield again. Real opportunity there, and Brady again. That final ball was poor. I just don't think he's suited on that right hand side. I'm surprised he didn't go with Gudmundsson and giving him a rest. No, Gudmundsson is coming back from an injury. Maybe wanting to ease him in there, Sean Dyche. But he does have him in reserve, and if it's 0-0 going into the last 20 minutes, why not 25 minutes, get him on. Here's Ben Mee to get it forward here for Burnley. Just having a bit of joy at the start of the game and at the start of the second half. And here comes Rodriguez on the far side. He just kept that in, I think. Or has he? No, he hasn't. Referee deciding that was an Everton throw. And Seamus Coleman to take it. 3.5 minutes gone in the second half. It's 4 minutes gone in the second half. Still goalless here. No major chances so far. We'll keep you abreast of what's happening with West Brom, of course. They're at the top end of the Championship, battling with Leeds and a couple of other teams for automatic promotion into this division. West Brom were relegated a couple of years ago. Missed out in the semi-finals of the playoffs last year. And they get in two magnificent Titanic games. We covered playoff semi-finals. We covered against Aston Villa, both on the JB Clark YouTube channel. And what remarkable games they were. Meanwhile, as I'm talking to you, Burnley have won a free kick, and they're just starting to get a little bit of pressure up here a little bit. Still, most of the games are in progress, apart from Sheffield United Watford. That kicked off 10 minutes late due to crowd congestion, or to traffic congestion. Broadcasting fire check at 5 o'clock, and reaction until 5:30, and then we'll be off for a couple of hours, and then rejoin me at 7:45 from the King Power Stadium for Leicester City against Liverpool. And then tomorrow night we'll be back. I'll be back again in the box, this time at Molineux for Wolves against Manchester City. 7:45 with a 7:30 start here on the JB Clark YouTube channel. Goal kick to Everton, taken by England's number one, Jordan Pickford. Charlton 1, Bristol City 1. Andy Vyman, the former Villa player, with the equaliser there. Everton have certainly knocked on the door in the first half, Russ, as far as we're concerned. The best chance in the first half, just to remind you that Mason Holgate in the 7th minute from 2 yards range hit his shot against Nick Pope and made a remarkable save, right on the line practically. And then Mina hitting the rebound wide. Everton have knocked on Burnley's door, but Burnley have thrown bodies in the way and everything else as you would expect. As Bardsley tangles there with Bernard, who's come off worse to that. And the win predictor says more likely to be a draw at the start. 38% reckon Everton are going to win the game, and 23% reckon Burnley. That's the win predictor. This is a new innovation. You can only get that on Amazon Prime matches, I think. Got their feed of the game, but we are at Goodison Park, as you can hear in there. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And of course, we've got some great surprises coming up. I'm going to be doing a new series next year, JB Spy YouTube channels to watch for 2020. That you may need to have a look at and take note of, that are going to be probably big. And my first one is Trevor Sports, who does the retro grandstand and sports night and match of the day stuff as well, with FIFA 20 content as well. This is Richarlison picking it up midway inside the Burnley half. Then the ball is back to Sigurdsson on the far side. Now a chance for the cross, and it's deflected. Why are you hiding Russ for the Manchester City game? We noticed it because Leeds lost. We want to know where you were hiding. Because Russ wasn't about, was he? And it's the ball. It's rifled in there towards Calvert-Lewin. Burnley on the back foot a little bit. This is Luca Dean now. Infield to Sigurdsson, who can hit him. But what a challenge that was. I can't tell who it was. Jack Corr got in the way of that one. 52 and a bit minutes gone. It's still Everton 0, Burnley 0. 39,173 is the crowd. Big crowd today at Goodison Park. For Carlo Ancelotti's first game in charge. Oh, give it away. This is not good. Bernard now in possession. He runs towards the Burnley penalty area. Gets it on the right foot. Shoots. Deflects. And behind for a corner. A little bit lacklustre there with that ball on the far side there, Burnley. Giving Everton cheap possession, and Bernard nearly seizing onto it. And Ben Mee, good play. Good defending. Getting in the way of the Bernard shot. It just really boggles the mind, really, like Burnley giving cheap possession here in this second half. 8 corners now to Everton, 2 to Burnley. Mina up from the back as well as Sigurdsson takes that corner. Brady winning the first header, and then Delph takes possession and plays it back to the disappointment of the Evertonians in the crowd. This is Seamus Coleman, the Irishman. And he's played a nice ball to Luca Dean. Burnley a little bit stretched here. Ball deflects off Tarkowski, and well in Nick Pope there. Brave piece of goalkeeper there with Calvert-Lewin closing in on him there on the left-hand side of his 6-yard area and taking possession well. But Burnley just caught out a little bit in defence down the right-hand side. Maybe Burnley just need to get a bit more pace at right back there. Lowton has not had a great season when he's coming to the team. Bardsley's great and he's got great attributes and he looks after his body well, but as regards pace, he's not the most paciest player in the world. We're coming up towards 10 minutes gone in the second half. Still goalless here at Goodison Park. If you've joined us late, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for any notifications, please. We're all happy to have you. Right, elsewhere, Villa 0, Norwich 0. That's into the second half. So too is Bournemouth Arsenal. That's 1-0 to Bournemouth. Southampton still leading at Chelsea. Palace, West Ham 0-0. And it's Sheffield United 1, Watford 1. That's a half-time score. And we will have, and they're just about to kick off, incidentally. That game at Bramall Lane was held up for 10 minutes due to crowd congestion, I'm told. Manchester United and Newcastle is at 5:30. That's a game we will not be covering because we've got a bigger one to bring you at 8 o'clock tonight, Leicester-Liverpool. But we will bring you news of that Man United game in the build-up to tonight's match. Meanwhile, Everton coming forward and Tarkowski in the way again, and then the ball ricochets into the side net. And there was 1 or 2 Everton fans at the Garden Street end who thought the ball had gone in the back of the net. And there's a little bit of a ruck going on at that far post involving, who was it there? Sidibe involved. I think it's a goal kick, incidentally, to Burnley. Let's have a look what happened here. Sidibe making the break, off Tarkowski, and it came off Sidibe into the side netting. That's what happened. Yeah, definitely. Well, Pope accidentally tripped Sidibe. Sidibe was trying to look for a penalty there, which was never going to happen, because it was an accidental trip with Nick Pope. Here's Cork in the centre of the field, but he loses possession. Taylor to try and win the next one, but Everton win the possession down that far side, right by the tunnel. Now a chase on here for Chris Wood here, up against his man. He's only on his own. He had 2 in support, but they were very quick to show, or very slow to show, I should say. But they've won a throw in. Burnley, 57 minutes almost gone. Remember, we're on the air for the first game till 5:30. We'll get all the full classifieds from all around the country. England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, of course. And of course, reaction, if there's any, from this afternoon's big game. This programme with you to 5:30, and at 7:45, 7:50 we kick off again. We reconvene with our second live match again, me in the commentary box, this time at King Power Stadium between Leicester City against Liverpool. Top away at second place Leicester. Top place Liverpool away at second place Leicester. If Leicester were to win that game, not only would it end Liverpool's unbeaten record as Southgate heads back to Pickford, not only would it end on Liverpool's unbeaten record, it would make the championship race at the top of the Premier League a lot more exciting as Barnsley goes in with a no-holds-barred challenge, which didn't please any of the Everton fans. It is a Burnley throw-in, I believe, and halfway. Although Luca Dean is trying to say to Anthony Taylor, come on, let's see a little less of that. Barnsley's a committed player, and I think, you know, if you're going through, I think you can't take any physicality out of the game. There's been a goal, Crystal Palace 0, West Ham 1. Robert Snodgrass, 58 minutes. West Ham winning at Selhurst. This is Chris Wood for Burnley. He's got Rodriguez handling into the centre. Wood's had to hold it up though. Has waited for McNeil to come in, and the ball towards the far post. And it was headed wide by Robbie Brady to the left-hand side of the edge of the 6-yard area, and Burnley have just wasted possibly the best chance of the second half so far. McNeil going towards the right, the flag stayed down, and certainly Brady wasn't offside. And if that had gone in, it would have been a great moment for Burnley. 58 gone, and still goalless. But Burnley now creating a few opportunities, which is encouraging. But it's been given away here. Calvert-Lewin, midway inside the Burnley half. He's got Bernard to his left. Bernard checks. Back inside again. To Luca Dean. Now Bernard again. Dean on the overlap. Stays onside. Cross comes in. And Ben Mee did well again. Magnificent defending there by Ben Mee. Now Delph has it. Dean. Left-hand side. Delph with a cross in from the left-hand side. Again, the man. Oh, it was Calvert-Lewin. It was three to the left of the penalty spot. It was unmarked as well. And in the end, it was a tame header straight at Nick Pope. It remains goalless. And the Clarets are hanging in there, but are creating one or two opportunities and casting one or two doubts in Everton heads. Interesting. Interesting half-hour in prospect. Still goalless, but could be in for a right decent finish. 1-0 to West Brom, I should say. Brentford are playing really well, I believe. Reports New Caton. I did see the video earlier. You did go for 1-0 Everton win. So I did see the video. And I saw your Christmas and New Year message as well, mate. And beautifully put together, I thought. Right. We've had an hour of the second half. We've had 60 and a half minutes. That's 60 minutes. 15 and a half minutes into the second half. It's still Everton 0, Burnley 0 here at Goodison Park. Burnley have created one or two very good opportunities. Robbie Brady just a few moments ago heading just wide. Boxing Day football double header for you. You see this afternoon and this evening here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Yes, you know who won. Birmingham City 0, Armstrong with a penalty. This is Ben Mee. Everton trying to claim half-hearted the handball, as you could hear in the background. Ben Mee clearly come off his chest. Poor. I mean, that would have been a poor decision if the officials had given that. And Chris Wood there has apparently adjudged a foul Mina, who made a bit of a meal of it. I don't like these foreigners who go down easily. It's a pet hate of mine. It really is a pet hate. It's something I'd love to throw into room 101. As the Burnley fans, in great voice, no nay never now, ringing around a certain section of Goodison Park. So West Ham ahead, Bournemouth ahead, Southampton ahead. Sheffield United and Watford have just kicked off. They've played 2 minutes in the second half. That's 1-1. Watford in front, but Ollie Millwood equalising from the penalty spot 10 minutes before half time for Chris Wilder's men. That's going to be an interesting second half. Villa Norwich 0-0. In the Scottish Premiership, Hearts 0 and Burnley 2. That's a full-time score in the Edinburgh Derby. Aberdeen 1, Livingston 0. Hamilton Academicals 0, St Johnstone 0. These are all later scores. Rangers 0, Kilmarnock 0. Ross County 1, Motherwell 0. And St Mirren 0, Celtic 2. Championship, West Brom leading at Barnsley 1-0, Blackburn 1, Birmingham 0, Brentford 2, Swansea 0, Cardiff and Millwall 0-0. My old mate Carl Bates from the workshops there for Millwall in the commentary box. Charlton 0, Charlton 1, Bristol City 1, Hull 0, Forest 1. As Burnley get it out for a corner to Everton. Luton 2, Fulham 1. Middlesbrough 1, Huddersfield 0. Stoke 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Wigan 0, Derby 0. Leeds Preston is a quarter-past-5 kickoff. Reading QPR kickoff at 7:30. What we'll be giving you updates during that match during the Leicester match later, Leicester-Liverpool match later on. So we'll have updates of that later. Right, corner kick to Everton. 63 gone here at Goodison Park. And Burnley again get the heads away and do magnificently well. Blackpool Accrington 0-0 in League One. I'll give you a full rundown of the scores at the end of the game. Well, we've had 63.5 minutes, and I'd like to say, as I say, hope you all had a wonderful Christmas yesterday. But it is proper winter weather now, as we now go into the halfway stage of the season. Remember, Burnley won against Everton at Turf Moor earlier on this season, 1-0. I think it was Chris Wood who got the winning goal that afternoon. That's 7 goals already, 7 or 8 goals this season. That's a foul, that's a stupid challenge there. And Bournemouth have been pegged back. Mikel Arteta's side are level. Arsenal 1-1 with Bournemouth. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang with the equaliser after 64 minutes. Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1. Latest score at the Vitality, where Burnley won the other day. And have a free kick here this afternoon. Bristol City back in throws at Charlton, 2-1. Eliasson, in fact, they've taken the lead for the first time. Great comeback, as it turns out, from Bristol City. Burnley free kick, hoisted towards the edge of the Everton penalty area. Breaks to Brady here on the near side. Oh, that's a poor ball from Brady. That's an absolutely poor, ridiculous pass. He didn't look up, didn't take his time. And now Bernard on the attack down the left-hand side for Everton. Comes out again to Calvert-Lewin, and again Phil Bardsley and Ben Mee, no holds barred tackles there. This is Bernardo, so on the left-hand side. Everton starting to build up ahead of steam. Sigurdsson. Now he gets the ball back again. Now Dolph, deep inside Burnley territory here. Rodriguez against Dean. Rodriguez wins the battle, but the cross is poor, and Burnley are able to get it away. Fuentes just scored for Cardiff. 1-0 to Cardiff against Millwall. 59 minutes gone there. Here's the ball forward from Delph. Knocked away again by Burnley. Burnley hanging in there for grim life here, as Everton try to take control. We're inside the 65th minute mark. JB man of the match time, actually, as a free kick has been awarded, I think, to Everton. JB man of the match is open. All you've got to do, name of the player, please, and then hashtag it with the hashtag JBMLTM, please. And you've got until the 90th minute from now to make your decision. Whoever has the most votes wins the man of the match. And it can be a Burnley player or an Everton player. Name of the player, but you must hashtag it with the hashtag JBMLTM, please. There's been a goal in the game at Villa Park, and it's gone to Aston Villa. Conor Hourihane after 64 minutes. Aston Villa 1, Norwich City 0. Big game at the bottom of the table. We're going to see Johan Berg Gudmundsson now for Burnley. First change of the afternoon, and it's like for like. And it's not a surprise. I think this was on the cards, really. Brady has not had a great game, to be fair. He has headed wide, and now Brady be told to go off the field. But he wants to applaud the fans, which you can understand. But Johan Berg Gudmundsson has been missed from that right-hand side. He's come back from a bit of a long-term injury. Hasn't played for several months, but he's starting fit now, and he's ready to get involved with 67 minutes gone here at Goodison Park, and he's a terrific talent up against his Icelandic colleague, of course, Gylfi Sigurdsson. They played in the same team which knocked England out of the Euros and cost Roy Hodgson his job, as Burnley have a free kick which is rather wasted really, straight into the arms of Jordan Pickford. Newcastle has gone for Calvert-Lewin as man of the match. That's a vote for Calvert-Lewin. He's worked hard, although he hasn't had too many chances. Mina gets that away from the edge of the penalty area. That was a bit of a poor ball. Well, Gudmundsson has got a good 23 minutes plus stoppage time to make a mark on this game. And the more Everton get frustrated, the more Burnley will think they can nick this game. Although a point at Goodison Park is still a good point for Burnley. The win against Bournemouth has taken a little bit of the pressure going off into this game. And of course, if they can get 3 against Manchester United, sorry Newcastle, a couple of days' time at the turf, 7:45 kickoff, I think. Then, well, who knows? All bodes well going into the new year. Burnley have also got Aston Villa on New Year's Day, and of course, Bournemouth, Peterborough in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. As Sigurdsson's left-footed shot goes high into the Park Road, and it almost hit the top of the stand in the goal kick. Equaliser at Selhurst. Chieti has equalised for Crystal Palace. It's Crystal Palace 1 now, West Ham 1 in that London derby at Selhurst Park. As Nick Gated's just telling you. Brentford 2, Swansea 1. Ayer has pulled one back for Swansea. Ashley Barnes might be another substitution. Meanwhile, Nick Pope is angering some of the Everton fans by taking a while over this goal kick. Wallace has just equalised for Millwall, the cup battlers from last season. It was one of our better games that we covered on the channel, which got quite a number of X amount of thousands. On a Sunday afternoon, a drama down at the New Den. It was a marvellous cup tie, which Millwall should have won. As the ball comes into the penalty area, they played Brighton and it went to penalties. One of the most remarkable games, I think, of cup tie football I saw last season. Here's Richarlison, but well blocked out of it again. Burnley have been remarkable in defence. Fox has equalised for Sheffield Wednesday. 1-1 with Stoke. Calvert-Lewin now for Everton in the game here at Goodison Park. Our commentary game. Cluster 2 will be at the King Power Stadium at 8 o'clock. Shot comes in. Oh, terrific shot there for all 25 yards. Maybe 30 yards from Seamus Coleman, left-footed. And cleared Nick Pope's crossbar, but not by much. I know Nick Pope will say afterwards he had the goal covered. Seamus Coleman can hit a long distance shot, and that wasn't far over, as it turned out. Might have even shaved the crossbar a shade. Who knows? Pope again, angering some of the Everton fans, as you can hear in the background there. Just taking a little time over his goal kicks, but I suppose when you're looking to try and get a point in the game, you've got to come up with all sorts of implements and tricks and Christ knows what else. Ball back to Nick Pope again. This time he'll have to clear it. He can't pick it up. It was a back pass. Inside the last 20 minutes then. 19 minutes left to play, plus any injury time here. Everton 0, Burnley 0. The first of 2 Boxing Day matches with me, JB, in the commentary box for both of them. We're here at Goodison Park until 5:30. Then we're hot-footing it down to the King Power for that big 8 o'clock kick-off between second place Leicester and first place Liverpool at the moment. Luca Dean in a bit of space there on the left-hand side, but again Tarkowski first to win everything for Burnley. He's had a magnificent match, James Tarkowski. Calvert-Lewin. He's leading the Man of the Match award. Any Burnley fans listening, who do you think deserves Man of the Match? Let me know. JBMLTM, please. And the name of your player. At the moment, it's an Evertonian winning the Man of the Match. Mason Holgate, no, missed Everton's best chance all the way back in the 7th minute. And he hit from 4 or 5 yards out from goal. A shot that went straight at Nick Pope. Although, to be fair to Nick Pope, he had probably about a quarter of a second reaction time. And we made a remarkable save. Probably one of the saves of the season, I will go as far as to say. And if you watch it back on Amazon Prime, or if you haven't got that luxury, Match of the Day a bit later on with Gary Lineker, I'm sure you'll enjoy the save on the highlights package a bit later on. It's certainly worth a watch. Here's Charlie Taylor now. Burnley have kept clean sheets whenever he's been in the side this season, incidentally. That's a nice little stat there for all you statisticians out there. Inside the last 18 minutes, Burnley about to make a second change. Everton yet to make one at the moment. Ashley Barnes is going to come on. Chris Wood is the man that's going to be placed, which means obviously Rodriguez is going to play the full 90 because there's no other striker on the bench. So Barnes and Gunnarsson on. Chris Wood and Robbie Brady now have both been substituted. Everton have still got their quota of 7 subs to go at. They've got Stecklenburg, the sub-keeper, Baines, Keane, Walcott, Cenk Torzan, Tom Davis and Moise Keane. So they've got quite a number of attacking changes, about 3 or 4 attacking changes that Carlo Ancelotti can look at. I'm sure he knows a lot about Moise Keane. Promising Italian striker. Scores plenty of goals in the under-23, under-21 level. And there's been another goal at Stamford Bridge. I bet you want to know who's got it. Southampton have got it. Bad news actually for Aston Villa that Nathan Redmond with the second one after 73 minutes. Chelsea 0, Norwich, Southampton 2. And all of a sudden, Ralph Hasenhüttl's men have really picked up form just when it mattered most. Burnley got a free kick to defend. Sigurdsson to take it from the far side. Here it comes towards the penalty area. It goes. Header one. Good save at the right on the edge of the right on the goal line by Nick Pope. And Vampire Vault, please stop making predictions. Talk about what's happening in the game because we are trying to provide a service. I'm doing the commentary, not you. Okay, listen to the game. Make comments about what you think how the game's going, but don't make things like that. This is why we thought about barring it. Meanwhile, Rodriguez is onside. How could Pickford? He's out of his area, surely. He's out of his area, surely. He has to be out of his area. He's got to go for that. That's a deliberate handball. He's got to be booked at least here. The Everton fans don't like it. Rodriguez is definitely onside as the ball's played. Now, did he handle it outside the area? Well, from my point of view, it looks as if he's handled it clearly outside the area. In the olden days, that's an instant red card. Has he not even booked him? I don't know if he's booked him. I think he should be off. I think that's a straight red card, isn't it? It's got to be. Anthony Taylor's not booked him. That's deliberate handball. That has got to be a clear red card offence. I thought when you handle the ball outside the penalty area, which is clearly obviously has done, in my opinion, that should be a red card to Jordan Pickford, surely. Everton should be down to 10 men. Wow. It's a free kick to Burnley. Maybe more bigger punishment might come Everton's way here. Free kick. And it comes towards the penalty area. Oh. And a free kick given to Everton. Bit of pushing going on by Ashley Barnes of all people. Who would have believed that? How has Pickford got away without a yellow card? I will never know. That, to me, if you handle the ball outside the area, you're a goalkeeper. I don't care what position the ball is at the time of the ball going out the penalty area in the keeper's hands. That is deliberate handball. That is cheating. And that should be a free kick and an instant red card. Meanwhile, it's Bernard coming off. He's played well, actually, in fairness for him. And we're going to see Moise Keane come on, the young Italian. He'll be itching to get a run of games in the Everton side because he'll want to break into that Italian national squad for the European Championships next summer, of course. Italy qualify for that next year. As Pickford kicks away, very lucky, in my opinion, to still be on the pitch. Well, there's controversy. I'll be interested to see what Sean Dyche makes of that. We'll try and get a post-match interview from him before 5:30 this evening. here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Meanwhile, it's Everton now on the break, and Nick Pope, terrific ball in there as Richarlison went in for that right side cross there from Sidibe. Good run there by Sidibe, good cross. And then came Pope, quick reactions, lightning quick, and took the ball very clearly as Richarlison came in. Very brave piece of goalkeeping by Nick Pope. Did really well there, the Claret stopper. Burnley have done a lot better attacking wise in the second half, it's got to be said. But Everton should be down to 10 men. Pickford should have been sent off, in my opinion. Free kick to Burnley. Moise Keane fouling Charlie Taylor. John, I think if that's a prediction, that's fair enough. But I could really celebrate even a cheating Everton win. Oh dear. Right, if you... No, don't predict the scoreline. There are 6 moderate... Can I just remind everybody, as Pope is taking his time over this free kick, it's still 0-0, folks. Don't listen to what that guy's got to say there. Duncan Udalan. Right, it's not 1-0 to Everton, it's 0-0. We're live. So let's just... Can we cut those comments out, please? We have got people listening that are not watching the game. Now, please don't spoil it for the rest of us, otherwise your comment will be barred. There are 6 moderators, plus myself, at any one time. You have been warned. 0-0 here. And the same applies for the game later between Leicester City and Liverpool. What a good stop there by Burnley. And then Tarkowski using his strength very well in the middle of the field. Nothing wrong with that one there, despite protestations from the Evertonians in the crowd. Barnsley gets it away. Thank you, New Caton. Well done. Much obliged to you. Sean, I know it was a prediction, Sean. It's not you I had a go at. It was Dugan Ulahan. I can't pronounce his name, but it was him I was having a go at, not you, Sean. So don't worry, Sean. 0-0. Here's Chambers Coleman down the far side. Good football there. Oh, he's beaten 2 Burnley players. That's a worry for the Clarets, that is. Oh, Tarkowski not for the first time. Getting ahead on that. Still wanting votes for your man of the match with 11 minutes to go. Name me your player, please. And hashtag it MODM. As the ball comes into the penalty area, it's off the post and it's gone in from Calvert-Lewin. And how cruel on Burnley. Everton should have been down to 10 men in this game. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin is heading it in from the far side. From the 6-yard area, off the left-hand post. How unlucky can you get? Everton should have been down to 10 men. They got away with one murder there with the goalkeeper. And then score to be fair, it's a very good finish. But there's an element of luck involved. And Calvert-Lewin scores. It was Dwight McNeely giving the ball away there. Oh dear. It's heartbreak for Burnley. It's delight for Everton. Pope nearly got there. I have to say, Everton have not really threatened as much as they did in the first half in this game. Burnley have offered a bit more in the second half, and really, if Pickford had been sent off, which he should have been, by referee Anthony Taylor, who knows what it might have been. And I may be talking a little bit biased here, but under the rules of the game, if it's a deliberate handball, and I'm going back to the Pickford incident here about 5 minutes before, that's a red card in my opinion. I'm a Burnley fan. That's why you might hear a little bit of biasness in the commentary a little bit. But, having said all that, Everton in front. They could have been in front as long as a 7-minute here. But let's just keep this right. Any scores that are mentioned on here, New Caton will ban you all. Right? Just please stop. And there's 1 or 2 people that are just spoiling it a little bit. Bill Kenwright will be delighted about that. Remember, we've got Liverpool in action at Leicester, second against first. That's at 8 o'clock. Kickoff. We're here at the end of this first game until 5:30, but it's not good news for the Clarets, I'm afraid. And here come the 11 And here come Everton again. It's Richarlison inside the penalty area. And Nick Pope did really well, and he's injured himself there. Free kick to Burnley, quite rightly given. And now problems here for Burnley. Nick Pope is in a bit of trouble here. Moise Keane's also down. It was a purely accidental collision, by the way. Everton fans are complaining that Pope is making a meal of it. I don't think he's making a meal of it whatsoever. And they've got room to talk because Everton should be down to 10 men. Disgraceful from Anthony Taylor, I'm afraid. He's not giving anything to Burnley. In fact, Moise Keane goes down there under challenge there with Tarkowski, who clearly won the ball fairly, in my opinion. Nick Pope, I think, is still receiving treatment. I'm pleased to report he's on his feet, but Burnley should not be 1-0 down. If the referee had taken the right course of action when it was at 0-0, when Everton should have been down to 10 men. I'm not bitter, Sean. I know what I saw. I know exactly what I saw. I might be Burnley biased, but I have to tell you, if I was to Nick Pope, I can tell you now, I can guarantee that Mr. Taylor will be out straight away with a red card. How Pickford got away with that, I'll never know. I'm not denying that Everton deserve to be in front. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just an annoyance that Burnley here have been done by two unfair refereeing decisions at the end of the first half, when they should have been allowed a corner to be taken at the end of the first half, but wasn't. And now Pickford's got away with blue murder. It's a joke. I'm not blaming Everton or the fans or whatever. I'm blaming the referee. And that should be a free kick there, because one of the Burnley players has gone down under challenge, and that should have been a free kick. Instead, it's Moise Keane on the left-hand side for Everton. Burnley are being wronged here by the officials. Anthony Taylor, get a grip! The refereeing is poor. Anthony Taylor's had a poor game for me. We're going to see Tom Davies now for Everton. 1-0 up, but very lucky, in my opinion, the way the second half's gone. Can you stop that? No, it's not 2-0 to Everton. It's not 2-0. Please, please, please stop spoiling everything. Burnley do not deserve to be behind in this game. It's not been a 1-0 scoreline by any means. Should have been a free kick at the other end. There'll be uproar if this goes in, I can tell you, from certain sections of Burnley fans who are not happy with some of the refereeing. Corner from the near side. Sigurdsson into the penalty area. And that has gone wide of the post. It's not 2-0. It remains 1-0. Calvert-Lewin heading wide. Goal kick. We're going to see Tom Davies come off, and Richarlison, who's done okay today, in fairness to him. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's winning in our man in the match vote, is the goal scorer. Diving header off the left-hand post and in. His goal's deciding things at the moment. Richarlison is... yes, we'll be doing the Liverpool match later on, as I keep mentioning. I won't stop mentioning because it's a big game. Leicester City against Liverpool. What a game that really does promise to be. So Leicester City, that will be live. We'll start our build-up around about 7:45 this evening. Meanwhile here, Burnley, who have really battled well in this game, should be playing against 10 men, in my opinion. Pickford should have been sent off for deliberate handball, but he clearly handled outside the penalty box. Why wasn't VAR doing something there? This is Tom Davies though for Everton. So 4 minutes to go. Can Burnley find a way back into this game? It's not just about shots on target that count. It's whatever happens. Remember, Brady had taken that opportunity. I think Ben Mee's done okay. I think Tarkowski's been the better because he's put bodies in the way. But Ben Mee has made some really good blocks as well. The commentary may be a bit Burnley biased, but the referee has not helped us in any sense. This is Calvert-Lewin, 20 yards from goal. Tries to chip the goalkeeper. It's over the top. And a goal kick. Good game down at the Valley, incidentally. Charlton 3, Bristol City 2. Doherty with the goal there for Charlton, I think. Does it get Charlton 3-2 up? 3 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Burnley on course for a defeat, which makes that, which is just as well in the sense that, well, we're going to see another change now. Then we're going to see come off. Well, I don't understand. Well, what's Sean Dyche there? What is Sean Dyche doing? He's taking off Jack Cork and he's putting on Kevin Long, a defender. Why? Why, Sean? What are you doing, mate? That is a poor substitution. With the game at 1-0 and still a chance at a point, Sean Dyche makes a silly substitution like that. I will not understand that mentality from Sean Dyche. I'm sorry, but that's a poor substitution. There's drink water. There's too many different. You could have thrown on drink water. That's a poor substitution from Sean Dyche. I'm sorry to say. And as a Burnley fan, that annoys me. With the game still there to take a point from, why? Why? He's a defender, for heaven's sake. We're 1-0 down in a game that we could do with taking a point from, and you make a change like that, Dyche. Absolutely baffling to me. Anyway, back to the game, and it's Tarkowski. I have to say, though, Burnley have battled bravely. It has been mostly Everton. Nick Pope straight against Moise Keane. That could have gone anyway. He's got away with it there, Popey, I have to say. As Rodriguez is on the chase there. And Dean gets it back to his goalkeeper, who should have been sent off. Plays a 1-2. Grabban has scored for... Who's he scored for there? It's whole nil. Anyway, it's 2-0 anyway. Lewis Grabban has scored. I don't know who for. Well, we know it's 2-0 against Hull. That we do know. Meanwhile, Anthony Taylor, who's, in my opinion, has had a poor game in general. And Everton are about to make a change. Sedimi has actually done very, very well. You've got about 50 seconds to vote for man of the match. At the moment, it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin who's going to be winning it for us. Nottingham Forest. They're having a good season as well, Forest. The former Chargers of Brian Clough. Having a good season. We featured them at the start of the season. Phil Walcott is about to come on now. That, it 1-0 up. That is a positive manager there. Now, why is Sean Dyche being such negativity at 1-0 down with a few minutes to go, and you make a defensive substitution, and you look at Ancelotti, you see how positive he is, and it's just not on. I think the ball boys are very safe. Although Duncan Ferguson is on the bench, by the way. But it'll be a good win this for Everton if you take the emotions out of it all. Cornick has just scored, and it's 3-2 Luton. There are 4 minutes added time. I know, but he makes some daft substitutions at key points. I'm not slagging off Sean Dyche by any means. It's just sort of two of his changes are a bit questionable. It has to be said. First two changes, nothing wrong with them. Third one, however, more so. Burnley haven't got Goodmanson into the game as much in the second half as I thought he might be. Out comes Pope again, and he picks the ball inside the area. Note to Jordan Pickford, inside the area. We've had almost a minute of the 4. We'll be with you until 5 o'clock, 5:30. We'll bring you all the scores as we come in. Kevin Long's my cousin, is he? I wasn't having to go at Kevin Long. It was purely because it was a dig at Sean Dyche, mate. Nothing wrong with Kevin Long, as you right say. But I'm afraid that it's very difficult. Carl's a Burnley fan from New Zealand. Nice to have you. Whereabouts from New Zealand are you from? Let me know in the comments. So we've been heard in Houston, Texas today. We've also been heard in New Zealand. So nice to see fans of both clubs from very far away tuning in to our coverage today. The ref's also my cousin. Barnsley 1, West Brom 1. You see, that'll be a decent point for Barnsley. That at the bottom of the Championship as Everton look in search of a second goal. Lucadin can't keep that in play. Burnley, Papamoa, fantastic. Good afternoon to everyone in Papamoa. Or good evening, rather, from the UK to Papamoa. Referee making his gesture to his wristwatch. Burnley need to get on with this. They haven't got time to mess about. They've wasted 2 of the 4 minutes. We've got 2 minutes left of the 4. Burnley need a goal here. Otherwise, it's 3 points stayed at Goodison Park. That's a foul. That's a stupid tackle there by Theo Walcott. And he should be booked for that. That was an awful tackle. The referee's reluctant to show any cards today. I don't think he's shown one throughout the entire match. Not even to Jordan Pickford. Marley Watkins has just scored for Brentford. 3-1 they lead Swansea, who are fallen way behind. Here comes the free kick. Into the penalty area it goes. He'll come for Tarkowski, and he can't get the chest control. And in fact, I think the referee's blown for a questionable decision again. Burnley can't believe it. Another chance gone begging. And was there an offside decision here? Oh, if it was, I don't think it was against James Tarkowski. Sorry, I don't think it was. Another questionable official decision. This time from Scott Ledger on the near side. What is it with Burnley and officials against us? 3, maybe 4 decisions. I don't know, Gareth, to be quite honest, without looking at the stats properly, but Everton certainly had the better of the first half. It's been a little bit more level in terms of possession in the second. But Everton have scored that important goal, and that's why they're winning 1-0. Although there'll be 1 or 2 quizzical remarks from Dyche, I'm sure, about the consistency or the inconsistency or the incompetency of this particular referee. Anthony Taylor is a poor referee. I've said it before and I'm saying it again. It's not just against Burnley he's given very questionable decisions. How are referees like him allowed to get games like this? I will never know. He's not good enough to be a top-class referee. Coleman's played okay, actually, Sean, to be fair. He's had his usual consistent game. He's a very consistent player. What I've come to expect from Seamus Coleman. He's a very good player. We played the 4 minutes anyway at the end. Stay tuned, because we're not finished yet. We'll be doing a full classified check. And we'll be getting reaction from Goodison Park until 5:30. And we'll have a 2-hour break before the big game at King Power later on. Everton 1, Burnley 0. Heartbreak for Burnley here. Everton look like they're going to get a win under Carlo Ancelotti. But Burnley have battled bravely and probably deserve more. Final whistle goes. Ancelotti and Sean Dyche shaking Shabba's hand at the end of it. It's defeat for Burnley, I'm afraid. Beaten 1-0 by Everton this afternoon. The winning goal from Calvert-Lewin. And, well, I have to say it's disappointment for Burnley, with other results going against us as well. Villa winning against Norwich. Southampton winning at Chelsea. Bournemouth getting a point against Arsenal. These are not good results for us, really. Disappointment. The winning goal, I'm just going to tell you, came after 18 minutes. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with the winning goal. As Bardsley had wrestled the player to the ground. It's ended a little bit. Ended a little bit nastily here, but you can understand Burnley's annoyance and frustration. Three or four key decisions went against us today. In terms of the decisions, wrongful decision to stop for half time when Burnley had a corner kick situation, which I found bizarre. The decision not to send off Jordan Pickford for a clear handball outside the penalty area. If you're going to give a free kick to Burnley, you give a free kick and a red card. That's the FIFA laws. But there will be several questionable decisions once we're finished here, and hopefully we'll get all the reaction that matters. Calvert-Lewin with the winning goal, diving header after 80 minutes. Robbie Brady had a diving header before that went narrowly wide of the right-hand post. But it wasn't meant to be. Burnley are very disappointed there. Michael Keane, who wasn't on as a substitute that long, goes off as well as Goodison Park empties here. Let's tell you about 2 more games that are coming up here on the JB Court YouTube channel tonight. I'm hot-footed after 5:30. I'm hot-footing it over to the King Power Stadium for the second commentary of the night. We've got Wolves tomorrow as well, but it's Leicester second place against Liverpool, who start the day top. And of course tomorrow we've got Wolves against Manchester City. Sam Boggs, former Burnley players, just scored for Stoke. Jack Ryan is one of the new shows that you can check out on Amazon Prime right now if you've got that on subscription. And also we've got Jeremy Clarkson as well, James May, Richard Hammond in the Grand Tour special. If you haven't seen it, it has been out since the 13th of December. It's called Seaman. It's one of their epic adventures. Instead of cars, which they usually do, it's boats. It's well worth a watch. I've watched it myself. I'm not going to give anything away other than that, what I've just said. It's a really good watch. I suggest you go and watch it. So it's a delight for Everton in a scrappy game here at Goodison today. Burnley battled and probably on the second half display were probably worthy of a point. But they've had at least a point snatched away by Calvert-Lewin's 80th minute goal. So Burnley have lost here by 1-0, and it's a very disappointing way in which to finish. We'll get reaction at the end of the second half. We're just going to take a couple of minutes break, and then it's going to be the full-time roundup from the 3 o'clock games in a second or two. But it's bad news to report at Goodison Park. It's Everton 1, Burnley 0. Stay with us because we've got all the full-time reaction coming up, plus the classified check. Stay with us. Welcome back to Goodison Park, where it's finished Everton 1, Burnley 0. Really disappointing end for the Clarets, who were probably, on the way that they played second half, probably worthy of a point, maybe. We're going to just get some reaction here because we've got Seamus Coleman and the goal scorer Calvert-Lewin just talking after the game.
The manager's first game and a Boxing Day clash. I mean, Seamus, just talk us through captaining the side through that one.
Yeah, it was great. Look, there's been great excitement all week since the manager's come in. We're all desperate to learn from him. I think it's been a massive appointment by the club, and it was important to come here today and get the win. And we got some of his ideas across quite well, and I think we deserved the win in the end. And it's a great start for the manager, and obviously we're delighted.
Obviously great for you as well to get reinstated back into the side.
Yeah, the manager's put me in, and I'm always ready when called upon. And most importantly, it's always about the team with me. And thankfully we got the win today, and great header from Dominic.
Absolutely, Dominic. Just talk us through that goal. Epic there, obviously, to get the lead, and then obviously ultimately the win. And Sadibe there with the assist was awesome.
Yeah, it's a great ball from City, and I think I've had a couple throughout the game, so it was important that I got a good contact on it. I was thinking as soon as he's whipped it in, I just kind of threw my body at it, and thankfully found the post and in, but yeah, over the moon to score the goal.
And a word on Burnley as well. I mean, we know how good they are in defence, and they kind of, I guess, pushed you all the way, especially in that first half. They really made you work for it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. We knew that Burnley style of play, you know, they're defensively good, solid, and they like to be direct, so we were well aware of that, and we set up to play against that. And you know, you saw we had a lot of the ball today, and I think for me it was good to play well, but most importantly get the result as well, which tops off an all-round good day.
And that's all we're hearing from that interview. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit Burnley biased, but it hurts me. But I just have to tell you that Calvert-Lewin got man of the match at Goodison Park. But it's disappointment for Burnley, beaten 1-0. We'll hopefully hear from Sean Dyche before 5:30 this afternoon. Right, we're gonna just change entirely now, because we're going to give you a full classified check now from around the country, England and Scotland today. I think Wales and Northern Ireland will be playing as well. So let's check the full scores and then from this afternoon. But we'll check the scores in a second. We'll just so let's get the full score lines. Right, here we go. Start. Okay. Right, anyway, let's just check these full-time scores. Starting with the Premier League, of course, classified check. Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. Aston Villa 1, Norwich City 0. Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 1. Chelsea 0, Southampton 2. Crystal Palace 2, West Ham 1. Everton 1, Burnley 0. And Sheffield United against Watford, that's a late scoreline. They're into the last couple of minutes there. 1-1 is the score. Manchester United against Newcastle is a late kickoff at 5:30. Leicester City against Liverpool is a late kickoff at 8 o'clock, and that's live here on this channel, the YouTube channel. Into the Championship, Barnsley 1, West Brom 1. Blackburn 1, Birmingham 1. Brentford 3, Swansea 1. Cardiff 1, Millwall 1. Charlton 3, Bristol City 2. Hull 0, Nottingham Forest 2. Luton 3, Fulham 3. Middlesbrough 1, Huddersfield 0. Stoke 3, Sheffield Wednesday 2. And Wigan 1, Derby 1. Leeds against Preston is a 5:15 kickoff, and Reading against QPR is a late kickoff at 7:30. League 1, Blackpool 0, Accrington Stanley 1. Bristol Rovers 1, Wimbledon 2. Burton 4, Tranmere 2. Ipswich 0, Gillingham 0. Oxford 1, Lincoln City 0. Peterborough 0, Doncaster Rovers 3. Portsmouth 2, Wickham 0. Rochdale 2, Fleetwood 3. That's still going. That is into the 11th minute with Fleetwood winning 3-2. Shrewsbury 1, Rotherham 2. Southend 2, MK Dons 2. And Sunderland 0, Bolton 0. League 2, Leyton Orient 1, Colchester 3. Carlisle 0, Bradford 0. Cheltenham 0, Plymouth 1. Crawley 4, Northampton 0, that's the latest score. Into stoppage time there. Exeter 1, Newport 0. Macclesfield 1, Grimsby 1. Mansfield 2, Port Vale 2. Morecambe 1, Oldham 2. Salford 3, Crewe 1. Scunthorpe 0, Walsall 2. Stevenage 0, Forest Green Rovers 0. And Swindon 4, Cambridge 0. National League, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Ebbsfleet United 1. Woking 0, Sutton United 2. Barnet against Borehamwood, match postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. Barrow 1, Fylde 1. Chesterfield 2, Solihull-Moors 2. Dover 3, Bromley 0. Eastleigh against Aldershot, again match postponed, again waterlogged pitch the cause. Harrogate 4, Hartlepool 1. Notts County 3, Maidenhead 0. Stockport 5, Halifax 1. Wrexham 3, Chorley 1. And Yeovil 6, Torquay 2. Into the National League North we go. Telford 3, Alfreton 0. Bradford Park Avenue 0. York City 2. Curzon Ashton 0. Aldringham 1. Darlington 2. Spennymoor Town 1. Gateshead 2, Blyth Spartans 3. Guiseley 2, Farsley Celtic 0. Kettering Town against Brackley Town is a match postponed at Waterloo pitch to course. Kidderminster 3, Hereford 1. Kingsley 1, Boston 0. Leamington 3, Gloucester City 0. And Southport 1, Chester City 3. International League South, Concord Rangers 4, Billericay Town 1. Slough Town 2, Wealdstone 1. St Albans 2, Hemel Hempstead 0. The Tonbridge Angels against Maidstone United game, that's been postponed once again, Waterloo pitch. Welling 0, Dartford 3. Bath City 3, Chippenham Town 2. Chelmsford 4, Braintree 1. Dorking Wanderers 4, Eastbourne 0. Dulwich Hamlet 1, Hampton and Richmond 2. Harrod and Waterlooville against Weymouth, again that's postponed, again Waterloo pitch. Oxford City 3, Hungerford Town 2. Into Scotland now, in the Scottish Premiership. Hearts 0, Hibernian 2. Aberdeen 2, Livingston 1. Hamilton Academicals 0, St Johnstone 1. Rangers 1, Kilmarnock 0. Ross County 1, Motherwell 2. And St Mirren 1, Celtic 2. Welsh Premier Division, Barry Town 1, Cardiff MU 1. Carnarvon 3, Pennybourne 2. Kering Druids 0, the New Saints 5. Connors Quay 2, Airbus UK 1. And Newtown 0, Aberystwyth 0. Carnarvon Town against Malatown, that is an evening kickoff at 5:15. Irish Premiership finally, Coleraine 2, Ballymena 0. Crusaders 1, Cliftonville 2. Glenarvan 5, Dungannon Swifts 0. Glentoran 3, Linfield 0. Institute 0, Warren Point 1. And finally, Larne 0, Carrick Rangers 0. Thank you very well. That's it now. That's the 4 classifiers done with. Let's have a look at the table now. And it's not looking good for Burnley. We're down into a 12th position now. We're into 12th position at the as things stand. Let me just check that. Right, so let's look at the table now. Bottom of the table first. Burnley, well, it's causing 6 points now between the gap between 12th place and 18th place. So it's not looking good for Burnley. Well, it's not been a great day for Burnley. Just as well that Burnley won the match at Bournemouth really on Saturday. They play Manchester United. Arsenal now go ahead on goal difference into 11th. Newcastle and Manchester United drop. Palace have won as well. So Palace are the big winners there in that middle part of the table. Burnley certainly the biggest losers. Everton and Southampton starting to pick up points as well, which is not good news for us. Brighton are down to 15th. Then Bournemouth with 16th with 20. West Ham moving down 19th, and Pellegrini now under a lot of pressure. Villa right a point behind, and then will come Watford, who are starting the charge under Nigel Pearson again. That's 2 wins out of 2. That's a good point for them. Norwich as well, as things stand, are bottom. At the top of the table, as I said, Palace into the top half. Wolves are on 27 points. Sheffield United at the moment was on 29 points. We only Tottenham, who have moved above them in the table, unless Sheffield United win. I'm not sure if that's a full-time scoring up. We'll get confirmation of that at the end. Chelsea are 4th place, but have lost a lot of games now. Lost about winning 4 or 5. Manchester City are 3rd with 38 points, but play tomorrow. Leicester and Liverpool play each other tonight. 10 points the gap, but if Leicester win, the gap could be down to 7. You'll hear that live with me on the JB Clark YouTube channel with the commentary from myself. And, of course, Liverpool top. And at the moment, let me just check if that's a full-time result. Sheffield United Watford is a full-time result, so that's 1-1. We're just waiting for some interviews now, some reaction from this afternoon's match live. It's 10 minutes past 5 on a Boxing Day afternoon, and disappointment for Burnley. There'll obviously be opinions whether Pickford should and could have been sent off for handling the ball clearly outside the penalty area. I think the England goalkeeper should have been sent off, but that's my opinion of it anyway. So let's hear from Sean Dyche now on after today's performance?
Well, I thought we thought there'd be a response, and I thought first time we quote their response. I don't think there was anything really too worrying before us. Lots of corners and stuff like that, but nothing really of real any consequence. And we had a chance right there, and I think it might have been offside, but a golden chance from a free kick, so maybe it would have been disallowed. And second half, I thought we came out quite bright, looked more effective within the game to try and actually progress. First half a lot more defensive minded. Second half trying to bring something to the game from our point of view, and then unfortunately we got done with a sucker punch. It's simple as that. We're really poor giveaway, playing inside football when we're breaking, and they capitalised on it.
And a word maybe on not putting Wood and Barnes together and putting Rodriguez instead?
Well, Barnes, we're having to manage him. He's got a groin situation which he can sort of get through, but obviously we've got 2 in 3 days, so we've got to be trying to monitor the players the best we can.
Obviously, this is congested now. Man United at home on Saturday. How many positives can you take into that one, all things considering?
Well, like I say, it was a strange kind of game with a new manager and stuff like that, and I thought we handled that well. We kept it nice and tight. I thought some of our defending was excellent. We kept them to long range. I think they had a couple of headers second half. They were long range headers. They would have been brilliant headers if they scored from them. So a lot of good signs from that side of things. On the progressive side of things, we didn't open them up as many times as we'd hope, of course. And when we did that final detail in the final third, and especially on transition, we got some good positions today. Where on transition we could have been brighter and maybe affected the game. But we're really disappointed. Really tight game. I didn't think there was a lot in it. So we're just disappointed in that, really, that sense of giving them a situation they could capitalise on, and they did.
Well done, and good luck for Saturday.
Well done. I don't think it was. Well, I'm disappointed. I'm very certain that I'm amazed that Sean Dyche hasn't said anything about the Jordan Pickford incident and a few other bits and bobs at the end. But it's a disappointing day for Burnley. He's trying to be upbeat and positive as ever, but I don't know. Carlo Ancelotti's coming out now. I think he's going to talk to Amazon Prime in a second, and we're going to catch a little bit of that. I think we might as well get across there and get the interview now with Carlo Ancelotti.
Happy, performance was good. In my opinion, difficult match, but I think that we played well. We tried to play well. At the end, it's a good result, good victory, and we keep going for the next game.
We'll try not to keep you too long because we are standing in the rain here on Merseyside. I can't imagine you've missed British weather too much. We've been talking about the difference that the changes you made to the game today, bringing Moise Keane on 3 up front. Surely something you noticed as well.
Oh yeah, of course the player from the bench can help the team. We tried with the substitution to put more pressure in front. I think we had opportunity also the first time. We were not so efficient, but I think at the end the performance was good. The result deserved, and so everything is okay.
Carlo, is there anything you take from this game that you learned about your team? Because it was very difficult for 80 minutes and then you got the goal. So what did you learn from your team?
I think that defensively we did well. It was a special game with a lot of long ball, but the shape was good, I think. 4-4-2, we defended, we tried to put pressure in the first half. No, I think we have to be more efficient in front. Where, above all in the first half, we had opportunity to do counter-attack. We missed the choice, and so there we can improve.
Carlo, can I ask you, what attracted you to Everton Football Club?
The atmosphere here is really special. I received a fantastic moment at the beginning of the game, so I know how is the atmosphere here. It's a big club with a strong tradition. We want to stay, we want to try to go at the top.
And the identity of this team, that's something we were talking about before the game. These two know a thing or two about it. Is this something that this club is searching for at the moment, a bit of identity?
I think that the sense of belonging of the player, above all Seamus Coleman, Leighton Baines, is really, really important. So they have a sense of belonging really strong, and I hope that everyone in the squad can have this.
I've got to ask you about January. If no one else is going to, I've got to ask you about January. Were there any targets, any players that you're particularly looking to keep hold of that might have interest? I'm
looking for the next game, that is Saturday, and so we don't have time. we don't have a lot of time to recover.
Tough time of year.
And after that, in the new year, we will see.
That was Carlo Ancelotti there speaking to the media after a 1-0 win for Everton. I wouldn't say it was deserved. I probably disagree with him on that one, I have to be honest. But, having said all that, Burnley should have played better. As Sean Dyche alluded to there in his interview, there were elements of play that could have been better, especially in the final third. But defensively, we were brilliant and absolutely frustrated Everton. And then it was a moment of quality. It has to be said from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. His form has really picked up absolutely brilliantly. So you can't really fault them for that. But it's disappointment for Burnley. They're now 6 points above the drop zone, and it's a little bit of a frustrating day, really. And, well, I wouldn't say Christmas is ruined, but it's left a bit of taste in the mouth. A couple of refereeing decisions, certainly 2 or 3 refereeing decisions, very, very questionable. Certainly towards the end of the first half, when the referee blew up after 1 minute stoppage time, when Burnley were about to take a corner. When I've seen other teams being allowed to take corners, I think Anthony Taylor was a disgrace for that. He was also a disgrace for not sending off a clear handball by Jordan Pickford. But that aside, Everton did knock on the door and got their reward after 80 minutes. But a brave performance from Burnley. Nothing in the end. They'll feel very hard done by, and I have to say they will feel hard done by. They didn't get at least a point. But unfortunately, Calvert-Lewin's header has banished Burnley to defeat here at Goodison Park. It was a scrappy game. It was a difficult game, but Burnley have lost here 1-0 at Goodison Park. That's it from us now for now. I've now got to try and get myself composed now for our second live commentary because I need to get into the zone again. We'll be at the King Power Stadium in less than 2.5 hours from now for full match commentary of the big one. Leicester City, who are second in the Premier League, against Liverpool, who are first. Top against second at the King Power. Should be a crackeroonie, that one. Join me again at the King Power Stadium in a couple of hours' time. Now I've got to hot-foot it. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you all at around about 10 to 8 UK time here on the JB Corrick YouTube channel. Join us for Leicester against Liverpool then. But it's disappointment here at Goodison Park for Burnley. They battled bravely for 80 minutes, but Calvin Lewin's brave header has settled issues there. I hope you've enjoyed the commentary today. Been a bad day for Burnley, but hopefully they can bounce back with a victory over Manchester United. As for Everton, under Ancelotti, some positive things to take out of it, and for them, surely the only way is up. For me, JB, for now, until about 7:45, take care. I'll see you then. Bye.